Trial by file, I follow the thread. Names in the margin, words never said. Footsteps in silence, dates on the page. Power in the shadows, locked in a cage. If it's buried deep, we dig. If it's dressed up clean, we strip it. If the record bends, we read it straight. No easy answers, no closed case, no stone unturned. We want the truth, no stone unturned. Bring the proof, honesty first, facts on the line. No stone unturned, till justice shines. When the damage lands, we name the cost. Who got protected, who got lost? Civil rights, every voice, every door. No one ignored, no one invisible anymore. Say it plain, don't dress it up. Show the source, then show enough. Let the public see what's real, so every mind can judge and feel. No stone unturned. We want the truth, no stone unturned. Bring the proof, honesty first, facts on the line. No stone unturned, till justice shines. Respect in the telling, care in the frame. Human before headline, every wound named. We don't chase smoke, we follow the trail. Clear eyes, open records, let the facts prevail. No stone unturned. We want the truth, no stone unturned. Justice shines.
The defense rests, where humans come before headlines.
Well, well, well. What do you think? Good morning, all. I feel like I've had YouTube amnesia. I've faded into the shadows and disappeared off the tubes. Not preferentially. So it's really, really nice to be back. And there's quite a few of you here, which is great. My girl from down under. Bless you, cotton sock. Yes. As long as you're not down under the girl. What did you think? Oh man, it has taken me a while, but I've only had time on my hands. So I got I got creative-ish and tried to work out this AI stuff. And yeah, that was my first attempt. It still needs a bit of tweaking. The cat cut logo is still watermark on there, but you know, and the ending I'm not happy with. But yeah, I think it's fun. It's good. It's fresh, and I love the song. I love it. I just play it over and over. It's awesome. So, yes, that's kept me busy. I've been under like a mountain of paperwork and a mountain of change here. So it's coming to a head, hopefully, and it'll all just smooth out. That's my plan, I hope. That's That's what I'm asking for. Anyway, it was so many things that I wanted to do streams on, and so many things I've got half finished. But I actually had to set up a new setup for being able to stream, because I can't sit in a chair anymore. I can't sit 90 degrees. So coming to you live from a la bed, which is where I've been for the last few weeks, which has really not been fun. But anyway, and I started watching some other creators that had covered the Mickey Stines hearing, and I was blown away by what limited information they actually had to report. And it occurred to me that this is the perfect example of how mainstream media's narrative gets portrayed if you don't actually dig deep. And so, yes, I am. I've actually got to reach out to a few attorneys. I've actually reached out to Andrea Burkhart, who is awesome. She's, I think, in Washington, and she's an appellate, a civil appellate, I think, yeah, something like that, for her advice and stuff. And she's actually referring me on to Larry Foreman, Mr. DIY. What's it? I can't remember his YouTube name, but he's actually in Kentucky. I didn't know that. Did not know that at all. So I share this live out. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yes, I will be sending him an email after the stream just to reach out and get in touch. So fingers crossed that we might be able to get some more exposure onto this, which is what it needs. I have not even spoken to Taya or Brandy or Sabrina for nearly 2 weeks. I think I just feel awful. I feel awful. I have sent them invitation to join us, so hopefully they do. But yeah, it's just been a shitstorm here, and there's not enough hours in my day to be able to do everything that I needed to do. Hey, Christine, welcome. How are you? Good to see you, darling. So I went through and listened to Andrea's coverage and wrote down a few things that she still had questions about. Now, the hearing, as you know, basically covered a few issues. So there was the motion to dismiss the indictment, which was never going to happen. The motion for change of venue, the motion for bond, and what was the last one? Change of venue, bond. That's it, I think. Yeah, indictment, change of venue, bond. Oh, so the actual defence outlining their position on the extreme emotional defence and the mental health issues. All right. So nothing was really decided on the day. This is back on the 5th of June. But Judge Corrin did actually insinuate that it was likely that he would accept the change of venue motion. We'll see. I don't think the one thing I did find watching someone else's commentary on the hearing and their perspective of it was how many things are different legally in Kentucky than anywhere else. There are so many different laws, so many different special exemptions, all sorts of stuff that are exclusive to Kentucky. Well, why is that? Why the fuck is that? And one of the main things is that I've noticed, if you've seen anyone else covering this, their take on why Judge Corrin didn't have to recuse himself, and their narrative, mainstream media's narrative is that, well, it was only, he was only sitting next to him on one video, so he doesn't really know him. He didn't really talk to him. So, but what they don't know is that wasn't just a video. It was a video of the meeting, of the minutes of a meeting in for a particular committee that both judges resided. Both of them, not one. All right, sweetheart. I just got a message from Brandy, so she's going to pop in, which is lovely. I haven't seen her for ages. Very excited. So, yes, they're basically treating it as an isolated incident based on one video, yet they don't realise that it's a whole heap of meetings every month for a particular committee. And I've got them listed on the minutes for each of them. Like, it doesn't take much to just check that little bit further. Oh, I've missed everybody. Well, it'll change one day. I'll get there. I promise. So, I heard a beep. Now, hopefully, I can do this because I'm not on my regular computer and I'm on Wi-Fi. So hopefully we don't die. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on. Two of us. Hello? Are you there?
Hello.
Hello, darling. How you doing?
All right, running behind, but I'm here.
Oh, Angel. Oh, it's so good to hear your voice. Oh,
It's been
horrible.
wild lately, so.
Oh, still. Sweetheart.
So what are we up to today?
You've not been out of my thoughts, that's for sure.
Thank
And
you.
I apologise. I haven't been on. It's been a shitstorm here too. So welcome to my bed. I'm streaming from bed.
That's good.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's better. It's a must, but never mind. Well, I was just going over, Brandy. I've been watching other content creators and what they're reporting on the whole Mickey Stines case and stuff, and what's being portrayed in the media, the mainstream media shit. That it just blew me away that they have no idea. None of them.
No.
Like, even to the point with Judge Corrin, they've all brought it down to, oh, well, it's just an isolated video that he's sitting next to Judge Mullins, and they didn't even talk, so don't worry about it.
I think it was a little more than that, because
Well,
they had,
it is.
and if it was my life relying on that, I wouldn't really care if it was just a brief conversation or not,
Yeah.
So
But the fact is, it missed the whole point, that it wasn't just an isolated incident. It was a video of a meeting from a committee they both are on the board of.
Yep.
And we've seen the minutes with their both names. What? Yeah. So they really don't know anything. Nothing.
No.
I'm doing my best to reach out and
They've let a lot of things. I know the last one I watched, it's when they interviewed his aunt and Jamie Hatton and all them. I don't know if that was the last hearing we've had. I tell you, it was frustrating to kind of, because I feel like they're not wanting to leave it in Letcher County. And I feel like, it was our judge, our sheriff, and the people are you know, it should be his peers, I feel.
Yeah,
I mean,
he should be punished by his peers, correct. 100%.
so I just think that I can understand kind of both sides of the whole argument, but,
Yep.
you know, it depends on, whether Mickey spends life in prison or not, so I think it would just be fair if we played by the rules.
Kentucky play by the rules.
Exactly.
Look, I think this is just a big smokescreen waste of time, because I don't think it's going to trial at all. So
I don't think it will either. I really don't.
Time, but
I feel like everything else with Letcher County was already decided what they were going to do when it happened, and this is just performance.
Correct. Correct. They're just going to find any argument to argue over and drag it out as long as they can.
Yeah, and they don't care or pay attention to whose lives they're affecting or anything else.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Even the fact that, like what I was saying earlier, was that one thing I picked up on watching and listening to someone else, tell the story. A, they knew nothing, but B, there are so many laws that these attorneys, because I was watching attorneys take it, their actual portrayal of what's happening on the legal side. They pointed out it must have been 5 or 6 different laws that are exclusive to Kentucky alone, that don't exist anywhere else but Kentucky.
Yeah.
And one of them was the prosecution wanting a change of venue.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Like I said, they make it up as they go. It kind of feels that way.
They change the laws to suit themselves. They change the narrative to suit themselves. They change the fence posts. They change whatever it is they need to get through what they got to get through.
Yeah.
That. Yeah. And the other thing I noticed, I was going through all my paperwork and shit. You know how Judge Mullins' wife has issued a civil suit against who was it? I think it was against the jail staff and his colleagues and stuff for.
Yeah, I think she had it, I think, against the courtroom security.
Yeah.
All that, yeah.
For not picking up on his behaviour and predicting, what went down.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's very interesting, because she addresses a lot of the stuff that I'm basing a potential civil motion on as well, because their failure to act on that is what she's claiming damages for. Yeah.
Right.
So the failure for Mickey and the jailer and everyone else to act, that could actually be very, very helpful.
And it's interesting too, if you think about it, because it makes you question, what was their role in this, or what involvement did they have or didn't have or should have had, or
Well, I've got the policies and procedures and all that from the jail, so they were supposed to have acted on it and reported on it, and it's mandatory reporting, so to speak.
Yeah.
They did absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Yep.
What was that? The judge's wife should think about the victims. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Should think about the victims of Judge Mullins. 100%.
They should, but they're in so much denial, or I guess maybe, but they're not in denial. It's one of them things. Anybody that anybody's ever talked to from Letcher County will tell you they knew. Everybody knew. And, that would include probably his spouse, I would think.
Yeah, 100%.
But, who would want to lose that?
Yep. There you go. That's better. Well, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, cool. Sorry. To me, I think basically they're just putting up a front. I mean, who in their right mind would, if your husband's stressed and anxious and worried about your safety, who kicks them out of the house and sends them to their aunt?
Right.
Yeah.
Me and you had talked about that like way back when, and you know, the night or the day it happened, you know, rumors was flying everywhere. I mean, just, you know, and you know, they were tons of rumors going on about that, you know, it was a domestic violence order that his wife had took out, and that, you know, and everything just died down, and you never heard any of that again. And so, you know, like I said, there was a lot of rumors that day and a lot of stuff that went around that wasn't true and definitely didn't have no merit to it. And, you know, but that one kind of, you know, stuck out to me because, you know, they said that she was in fear and that she had went and got a DVO, and that, you know, and a DVO would have went through Kevin's courtroom. So, you know, that was one of the very few rumors.
Mickey?
Yes. See, that yes. And when they were talking about paperwork, do we need to talk about this in private? That kind of deal. That's what the rumor was in the beginning. And then, like I said, that one just totally pootered out and nobody heard a word about it again.
Of course, that would go really badly for Mickey.
Right. So when they brought up the fact, and his aunt said, well, she put him out of the house. So when she said that day, it clicked in my head again. Well, wait a minute. That would go along with the original, you know, rumors that went around that, you know, she didn't feel safe and that she had went and got some kind of protection order. And that was his panic about, you know, was his daughter upset with him? That's why he's seen her. You know,
what, right there, massive.
Yeah. So that was always kind of in the back of my mind, a little bit maybe of a reason. But like I said, that rumor killed out with a lot of the other ones, but it was a very valid. I mean, it wasn't, the other one were all sensationalized, you know, it was the stuff about his daughter and all that stuff, you know, that garbage. And, you know, that one didn't really have a lot of merit to it. And I just thought, well, that's some crazy stuff. But, you know, that one did. Because, you know, they kept saying that, you know, they were talking about some kind of paperwork, some kind of order or something. And I just, you know, that had always stuck out in the back of my mind. Like, you know, was that the reason or, you know?
I kind of, like, my thought process on that was more, I think that she was aware of what Mickey was doing with Christine, provided that it was kept under wraps. And that particular day, or the day before, you know, he'd publicly gone out in public with her, and she'd taken him to the doctor. And I think that was like the last straw, you know. Get out.
That's about where I'm at with it too. Because I know even his aunt had mentioned, you know, that he had took the melatonin and Benadryl, and I reckon that was what they had gave him the day before at the doctor, or that day, to, I don't know, address the sleep problem, you know. But I did some looking into that, because I have 2 kids that if you give them Benadryl, it makes them worse. I mean, it doesn't have the sleep effect on them. It makes them bounce off the wall.
Will go the opposite way,
Right. And if you think about it, his aunt said he's hyper. You know, he never says that. He just gets up and, you know, does stuff for people and everything without being asked. And I thought, well, what if the Benadryl, you know, did have the opposite effect and just prolonged the, you know, no sleep? Because after a few days without sleep, you start hearing and seeing stuff that ain't there, you know. It's just, you know, it just happens. And so if he had actually been that many days, it's untelling what he had gone through his head, you know, what was going on. And he probably thought everybody was against him.
that can easily be interpreted as mental health issues.
Yep.
You know,
But yeah, when they said the Benadryl, I was thinking, wait a minute, because some people do have an adverse reaction, and it doesn't cause sleep. But it also, I looked up, if you take too many of them, it also will do that. I don't know if it's the histamine or something in it.
has Benadryl in it, or
it has the hydro. It's the doxa something. It's an allergy, for your allergies technically, but it has an effect of causing drowsiness. And a lot of doctors in our area for anxiety, because they want you, they don't write anything, but they'll write you either Benadryl or hydroxyzine, which is another allergy medication for anxiety. And so usually they'll try Benadryl first. So I was guessing that was, probably his first time going in and complaining about, or, what was going on.
Yeah. Good morning, little birdie. Welcome. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah, he didn't go to his aunt's willingly. He took his phone with him, and he was constantly watching the cameras at home, which means, if he was worried about his wife and daughter's safety, he would have been there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have left. So.
And then there was one other statement that got me. When he asked his aunt to check on them because he couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he told not to be back at the house?
That plays to the DVO.
Because when they said that, or because she said there was a man walking up the road. It wasn't nothing, but Mickey panicked and asked her if she could go check on him. I thought, well, wait a minute, was he banned from the house to the point that he couldn't have went up there and checked on him? Or, that kind of went through my head too. Was he told not to be around them? Or what?
DVO, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Wow. I didn't think that.
Yeah. So, that caught me. I'm one of the people that listen real intently, and my head starts questioning everything. It's like, wait a minute,
I have to watch it a couple of times for it to sink in.
From my understanding of it, they're within walking distance. That house would have been within, so he could have, but so to ask someone else to go or someone else to check on it indicated to me there was a reason why he couldn't go to his house or call his wife, so
wow,
there was a lot of things stood out that I hadn't.
That's got to have been filed somewhere.
And I think too that was also a lot of building with he was out of his mind at the time it happened, which if he went that long without sleep, I can see that.
Absolutely. Hello, mister. Hey, hello. Look at you. You're famous. That's my boy.
He's putting in his 2 cents on it.
He sure is. He's such a silk. He's got to be beside me 24/7. He's so cute. It's actually really not. Thank you very much for that. KLM. Oh Christ, I can't even read it. You know who you are. Thank you very much and it is nice to be back. Thank you. I am trying to organize a gateway stream with
that would be fun.
Yeah, with JJ from State of the Deep.
Yeah.
So he's just waiting to catch up on a few things and he's in. So that'll be good. Looking forward to that one. A bit off topic. Be nice to have a bit of a change. I think something different and not stir up. Yeah.
Yep. It does get heavy. I mean, and you still got, I don't know how to say this, you still got people that are acting, they're being smart about it, you know. They're not as wide open as they used to be, but, you know, there's still things going on that just don't add up,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, you know, that goes on in the county and things. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I actually was saying before I reached out to Andrea Burkhardt, who was an attorney in Washington. She's a civil appellate lawyer, and she's very well respected and has a huge following on YouTube. And she's really good actually to listen to. And she gave me a different perspective when I listened to her take on the hearing and the legal side of it, and what was a good argument and what was bullshit and what, you know. But she actually said that, have you heard of the is it DUI lawyer Larry Foreman?
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, he's massive. He covered the Karen Reid case and all the rest of it. But she said that she'd facilitate an introduction to him because he's in Kentucky. And I had no idea.
I didn't either.
So that'd be good. So
That would be lovely.
I've written a letter, and I will be emailing that tonight. Just so, yeah, because, oh my God, if he could get this story out.
I'm telling you, if there was, and I've said this many times to a lot of different people, I know it's scary. You think, oh my God, who wants to deal with that mess? But I mean, it would be, Lord, they ain't even words to describe how wonderful that would be to have someone with outside eyes step in and just do an audit of every office, every, you know, and kind of, you know, find and see what a lot of other people see, you know.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's someone who's legal based and can actually get the records and investigate it legally, then they can, you know, they can turn up so much. And he's a Kentucky resident, so he's access to that shit. Yeah. Like, so fingers crossed, legs crossed, arms crossed, because he's got like over 500,000 subscribers, I think. And if he gets the word out, far out, it's going. Yeah. It's going. I actually was reading a lot of shit today, going through some old stuff that I'd saved in the drive, and like snuck away to do a stream on, and then never went back to that folder. Yeah, I've got lots of those folders, but one of them was the it was emotion in. Oh, let me see if I can find it, because it was up. It really was up. It was emotion in at the very beginning of Sabrina's civil suit, and it they basically just tore him to shreds and basically told him that they were full of shit. It was horrible, and I hadn't read that for ages, and I was disgusted. Yeah, crap, I don't think I was in here. It'll be on my Google Drive. Hang on, I find it.
It's there somewhere.
That's
what I tell myself when I'm panicking, like, oh my God, I don't have another copy.
And the more I panic, the more I can't fucking find it. Yeah. Well, before I forget, actually, I'll share this because I'm going to share this. Stop screen. My brother has recently started a YouTube channel, and he's been there for a month, I think.
I think I subscribed. He does fishing, right?
Yes. And the little turd's got like over 700 subscribers in a month. little shit. I mean, especially with my help, but and it's funny because he was wrapped. He needed an introductory song, and he came over one day and he said, "Do you know anything about Suno?" And I'm like, "Do I know Suno? Do I fucking know Suno?"
Let me show you.
Yes, correct. and so yeah, I wrote him a song, and he loves it. So I just want to play this for you.
Good morning. It is Friday, I believe. Wait 1 second. The 17th of July, 7 a.m. We stayed the night down at Inverloch because we thought we'd get out on daybreak, but the tide is very low. It's like 0.3, and we need like 0.5 to go out in the big formula.
He's doing good, Jody. He acts like he's in front of the camera.
Yeah,
you know,
to save a couple of hours of driving, or me probably a few hours of driving. But we're going to come out in this beautiful formula. It's twin powered, twin 300 Mercs. Very nice. I'll give you a bit more of a look through the boat. Anyway, stop gas bagging. I'm Daniel McDonald. This is Real Life Fishing. Roll that intro, shall we?
Going down the bay to throw in a line. Doesn't even matter if the weather ain't fine.
That's
Real
good.
life fishing. Go grab a ride. You might even get lucky and hook up a kite. Gather up the tackle, the rod and the reel, catching the big dummy on a little bit of eel. You can watch a YouTube video or read it in a book, but fishing in real life is better than it looks. Real life fishing. Stay beautiful.
How much fun is that?
That's good.
You can get off that. Yeah,
I've had the older grandchildren, the bigs. I call them my bigs and my littles, and I've had them for 2 weeks, and they have just yes, and
that's so good.
for Mama and Daddy works, so they've got to spend a lot of time with Mama, and so my grandson he started him one picture videos of the cats so far is all we got, but they were just fascinated that Mama even knew how to do any of that. No, it was so fun. We've had a ball.
Well, if they need any cat videos, I've got a shit ton.
He has chased them cats. I mean, just anything they're doing, he's videoing, and he'll say, "Mama, here's another one." I'm like, "Okay."
It's actually a bit disconcerting though, because like I could spend 2 weeks deep diving every day into researching something, presenting it, and putting a video together, and all the rest of it, and spend 5 hours on a live stream. And the 2-minute video I took of my cat that morning gets more views. Little turds. Yeah. Anyway. So that's what I've been up to the last couple of weeks. I've been using my creative brain instead of my physical body, because that's all I can do at the minute.
That's been pretty much my story. I've had to do a lot, with Dad. He's doing his radiation right now, so he's done good and everything. It's made him so weak. By the time they're done, he's finished for the day. It's wiped him out. So
how many courses do you have to have?
Huh?
How many treatments of radiation do you have to have?
30. His last one will be August 17th. So he does that 5 days a week, and
Jesus.
Yeah. So he's been put through it, and so that's been every day. And this was his first full week. Last week I think they started on a Tuesday or the week before, and I think he only did it like 3 days that week. So, but this has been the full week, and yesterday it was just about wheelchair him out to the car. He was just so weak from it. So I've had him and the grandbaby. So it's been an adventure.
So did they not get all of it? Did they find cells outside of the encapsulation?
Yeah.
On the radiation.
Yeah. That and so he's got, I think, 2 more places like right almost near it that was trying to take off like that one, and so they've got the radiation and it seems to be doing okay. So, but I had to, take him to the eye doctor and things like that. So they wanted like a baseline, where it's so close to his eye, or well, it is really his eye on the corner there. So, but we didn't realize they had, when they done the surgery, where they did have to come so far over on his eye, the eyelid, they damaged a nerve. So he can't completely close it or, open it. Yeah. So they said after his radiation and he got to feeling a little better, they would go in and do like a reconstructive, to kind of fix it, see if they could fix it and everything. So it's been rough. So, but he's toughing through it. So,
have you had to go back to court yet?
We went actually this week.
Oh,
and got pushed in another month because we can't get counsel.
Yeah.
We don't have the money to do it because we've already drained everything we had with the one before, and so they've got us on a waiting list, and so it's just been putting it off, and they don't want to start and do anything with the child custody till this is solved. So I said, so it's just like, 2.5 years. Oh, well.
How can that be in the best interest of children?
Right. So, but we still not seen them. And, so it's been rough. I said, it took my mind off of it having the other grandbabies and stuff here. But, the whole time I was thinking, boy, it'd be fun if I had all of them, here. So.
Yeah.
But,
are you allowed to speak to them on the phone?
Huh?
Are you allowed to speak to them on the phone at all or not?
No.
What the hell? No, here.
She let us have a birthday phone call for each one of them. And that's it. That's all we've had. So we've not had any visitation or anything, even though it's court ordered. We've still not had any. And I quit counting at 20. After we missed 20 visits, I just say 20 plus. Because, I still document it like, you're supposed to, but it's just, not getting anywhere.
You don't even know where they are, do you?
No. So I know where the oldest one is, probably, but
Tony.
Scarlett, I have no idea.
Oh, really?
Yep. So that's been, it's like I was thinking the other day, I'm fit enough to take care of the other grandchildren. Everything's good there. So, the state in northern Kentucky didn't have a problem with it. It's just, I don't understand why there's no, so it's a mess.
It is.
That's another situation. I think they already had made up their mind what they were going to do, and right now they're just tagging us along. They make money every time. Every time we show up in court, they're making money off of us.
Yes,
so,
and they're making an example of you, and they're punishing you for speaking out.
Yep. I mean, they, as much as I've squawked, they know we're not seeing the kids. But yet, there's no contempt on him, but what we got slapped with it for. So, I mean, it's just a ridiculous situation that proves it's one-sided as can be,
For sure.
So we've just had to deal with it as best we can. And, been trying to still find an attorney, and you'll sit down and talk to them, and they'll be, yeah, okay, yeah, and give you a little advice and everything, and then you tell them what county it is, and they just look at you like,
Yep.
Or the price goes up very, the price jumps a little bit.
You think? So what about there's no public defenders available?
Well, they had sent us to, it's called AppleRed. It's like a free attorney thing, and they sent us to another program, and so they put you on waiting list, but as many people in our area of the state that can't afford a lawyer, you're going to be waiting a while, before they'll appoint one. So
it's fucking
I don't know. It is.
Oh, hey Nicole, how you doing, Miss Smoker Honda?
Hey.
Oh, we got NF too. Yay! Welcome. Yeah, it breaks my heart too. It's just fucking wrong. It's wrong, and it's cruel, and it's just yeah.
I mean, it's constantly, like Sarah. I don't even know what to say to her. She's broke down. I mean, it just breaks her heart. She wrote them letters and made them some little bracelets and stuff. And of course, they didn't have the kids with them. So she gave them to the grandmother and asked if she would give it to them. And, it's a 50-50 chance they got it.
Yeah.
So, but, where they have cut all contact, it's been ridiculous. And then, my income got cut completely here the past week or so. I mean, and I told him, I've been fighting with this since August. I had been 20 years and nothing because I have so many medical conditions.
Yep.
And so I've got to deal with that coming up. So it's just been anything and everything you can think of that we've been hit with.
Yeah. Yeah, they did the same thing with Sabrina. They just...
And it's crazy the things that they have access to.
Yes. Yes.
The things that they can have access to control on and
insurance companies.
Yep.
You've got credit cards, insurance companies,
the bank, all kinds of stuff.
Bank, yes. Sabrina can't actually, they wouldn't issue her another card or open another account with her because it had been hacked so many times.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like when they first started with my bank, they were saying that I was missing. They couldn't find me. And I told Dad and Sarah, I said, I've had that check-ins account since I was 16. When I got my first job, I got that check-ins account. And I've had that since I was 16 years old. I'm not lost. I've never, they've always had my address and my current address. So I just, there was just a lot of things that they ain't no way. It's just no way possible that that's really what they think happened or is going on. Or so
one of
it's
our
just
subscribers, Lisa, she's in Tennessee at the minute, and they actually it was identity theft. So they've hacked her entire identity. And she's had trouble. She's put her house on the market, and they were there was some dodgy thing going on in the background where it wasn't the realtor, it was someone else. I think it was something at the bank where they had put themselves down as her inheritor, and they were prolonging the probate settlement or something to do with the house. And after a certain amount of time, if nothing's done, it automatically gets transferred, the ownership, to the next person on the thing. And if she hadn't have been at the right place at the right time and discovered that, she would have lost the house completely.
Yeah. And it's scary, the stuff that, like I said, they have access to.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just certain, I mean, when they can go in and financially bankrupt you,
Cripple you.
basically.
Cripple you. That's what they're trying to do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I mean, they pretty much have done that with us in court because we're just tapped out, drained completely. Yeah. I told Sarah, I said, it's $100 a trip every time we go to court, for $100 a trip for gas or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you get up there, you're not there. We wasn't in the courtroom 3 minutes this past time.
Yeah. Yep.
Just, nope, no attorney. Okay. And, I set it for August 19th, okay. So it just, I don't know. And if they would just let us speak, if we was just allowed to speak and say, okay, here's our evidence, just look at it, I guess, I don't know, but we've not even been able to speak anytime. So we've not been able to present, hey, we didn't even, do it. So here's our evidence. And no, we've not been able to do anything other than just stand there and be told to come back.
Because what it's doing, it's booked in as like a status hearing. So it's basically, where is it at? And once they've dealt with that, they don't deal with anything else. So it's the actual what they've booked into court. So if they were booking in like a hearing, that would be different.
Now I have to say, not this time, but the time before, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised for once, that Judge Kirk did stand up for us. He made it very plain, it's not fair because, this charge that she's looking at could be jail time. And so, it's not fair for her not to be able to obtain an attorney. And he told him, you're the problem. You're the one that brought the charges up, So I was surprised with him, and this time too, he reset it, but you could tell the look on his face. He wasn't too happy with it, which we ain't either. So, I mean, at least we got that in common, but it's just,
I think if you wanted to say something though, you would have to like register as a pro se defendant, I would think.
Yeah.
And then put a motion in.
And I'd say that's probably what will end up happening because I just don't see us being able to, come up with, like I said, every time we talk to them, they'll start with one price, but then when you tell them the circumstances, how long it's been and what county it's in, they're like, they don't know,
fucking argument. There was court orders in place.
Yep. Because that's what they ask us, is why we hadn't filed contempt before he did, because of all these missed visits. Every attorney I've talked to.
Yeah. You haven't filed any of them, have you? Because there's nothing
still. We explained to them all that, the previous attorney, nope, we don't want to make the judge angry, and
oh, fuck that.
She just wouldn't do it. She just flat wouldn't do it. And they was like, well, she should have. I mean, before he even got a chance to do any of this, she should have already had, presented that he had that many missed visits that were court ordered for him to do.
You don't need an attorney to file them.
Right. And I said, I talked to another one because how we was told that if we did anything like that, they was going to see it as retaliation. And, that's why she's been so scared to do it. How much more
retaliatory can you be? Really?
An attorney told me they're not allowed to tell you can't file something. He said, that's against your rights. You can file anything you want to file. It doesn't mean that he's probably going to get aggravated or angry over it, but you can file whatever you want to file.
Exactly.
So it's kind of been an eye-opening talking to some other attorneys that are outside of that area.
Yeah.
I don't think we went far enough when we got the last one. And so, but it's been kind of eye-opening, the things that she should have done or could have done and just flat refused.
Yep.
So that's been an eye-opening experience. So
yeah. They're not keen on telling you what the laws and regulations are. They're just telling you what you can't do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think her main thing, I don't know how many times we heard it, you know, like, well, you don't want to make him angry. Don't want to make him angry. And it's like, well, he's a judge. He's supposed to be impartial.
Exactly.
He's supposed to be impartial. How is us asking for our rights going to make him angry? You know? So I would be more angry with all this back and forth, you know, just make a decision and be done.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
It makes me mad.
It's frustrating. It has been, and you know, it's like I told the kids, you know, if the state sees fit that I'm a fit enough grandparent that I can take care of my other 2 grandchildren, I don't see why there's a problem. You know,
there isn't a
with
problem,
a different set of workers in another county. You know,
yeah.
So
there isn't a problem. They're just shunts, basically.
Yeah. Dad says, boy, you pissed him off this time. That's what he says every time something happens. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's his take on it. Anytime something goes wrong, he's like, boy, you pissed him off this time. What'd you do?
Nicole said, Eastern Kentucky is so evil. I think that's why it's constantly flooding. God's trying to wash it away.
I'm right there with you, Nicole. Actually, I think they're trying to flood it. Well, that's a conspiracy theory of mine, but they're trying to get rid of us people.
The whole situation's so messed up. I'm sorry. You'll have to go through this, Brandy. That's from Jen.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, what's the 16 kids in Ohio?
Oh my gosh, Jody. I started to send it to you. Somehow the police got maybe I think they got a call. Somebody got a call that there were probably some abuse going on in this home, and they went in this small house. I'm talking like maybe a 2-bedroom house. Found the grandparents, the husband and wife, and 16 kids in one room. And those kids they couldn't come out of that room. They were ages, I think, 18 to 1.5. And it was bad. They said that the family had been feeding them cooking oil.
Oh.
As you know, food. Just all kinds of bad neglect and stuff going on. And it's horrifying what those kids lived through. Or
16. They're all brothers and sisters.
Yeah, they're questioning whether the father is the father of all of them, and if him and his father ain't the, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Oh.
So, but yeah, 18 to 1.5. They were all abused. Some of them couldn't spell right, do anything, you know, couldn't even write their names. And they were from 18 to 1.5 years old. But they said at night the family would go to the closest, like a dollar store, and they were buying tons of cooking oil, and they couldn't figure out why they were buying so much cooking oil. And then a nurse video, I watched a nurse. She said they can give it to them as a supplement, you know, instead of food.
Teresa, can you post? Is there a link you can post from Court TV or anywhere that I can? You can jump in the chat for me. I can have a squeeze, but
and their photos, their mug shots, they look like hills have eyes kind of stuff. So, but there were the 4 adults and the 16 children in if I'm not mistaken, it was a 2-bedroom, like an old farmhouse, like one of them just straight shot house, you know, just kind of like a trailer, but, you know, very small. And So, but 4 adults and 16 children. And, you know, none of the children went to school. It's just bad. Nobody ever seen them outside. Most of the neighbors said they didn't even know that there was kids there.
Really?
Yep.
So they went to the Siders' home looking for the son, Gary Jr., over an incident exposure warrant. 18-year-old couldn't spell, and they'd buy cooking oil and ice.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I know.
What is wrong with people?
They said it made that, you know, that case, the Turpins, that had the 13 kids in I think it was California with them. But they were called their names was the Turpins, and they had, you know, kind of a similar situation, I guess. But everybody that I've seen make videos or anything about this story said that it's a nightmare compared to, you know, that case. I mean, they said it made that case look like it wasn't nothing. So I'd say the abuse some of them kids has been through. They had also said that they wondered if some of the older kids hadn't bothered some of the younger kids. I mean, it was just one of them situations that they said they couldn't tell. They couldn't tell, you know what I mean? Whose was whose or what was going on. So I reckon it was pretty bad.
Oh God. Thanks, Tricia. That's revolting.
They showed pictures inside that house, and oh my gosh, the room they had them in, yeah, it was so nasty and just, I don't know what them poor kids had to go through.
Ugh. All right, I'll have to check that out later. Whilst I remember, I was watching, getting back to Mickey Stines, sorry, got off topic there, but that's fine.
I have a way of doing that.
No, that's good because, yeah, my brain's, yeah.
Yep.
It's not cooperating. So I had actually queued up. Court TV did like a story on Mickey Stines and the whole thing and why, and they interviewed Jeremy Bartley, and I watched it today, and it's very interesting. Now,
is that the interview where he gives up a lot of? I think he gives up a lot of information in it.
Yes.
Yep.
And watching it now, as opposed to not knowing what the fuck he was talking about, was very interesting. So I thought I might play. It's only like a 5-10 minute clip, but it actually puts bits and pieces together of what he's insinuating.
I thought so too.
Yeah. So are you happy to? Should we have a look? Let's have a squizzy. There's Vinny. He's got the guns out. All right. And gotta go to, I'm on one screen. I'm working on a tiny little Surface Pro. Oops, wrong one. So I've only got one screen.
The way she does. That's good news for Sheriff Mickey Stines.
Did you hear that?
So I had an opportunity to speak with Mickey Stines' attorney, Jeremy Bartley, great attorney, works with his wife actually in their practice. And he gave me some incredible insight into what was going on with Mickey Stines and what the defense will be in this case. Let's take a look.
Nobody is, but he's my hero, regardless.
Missy?
I know that girl.
If anyone in that jury box feels the same way she does, that's good news for Sheriff Mickey Stines.
Why do you think they want to change your venue?
So I had an opportunity to speak with Mickey Stines' attorney, Jeremy Bartley, great attorney, works with his wife actually in their practice. And he gave me some incredible insight into what was going on with Mickey Stines and what the defense will be in this case.
So Law and Crime have bought out Court TV. So they own both. And Law and Crime have been out to Kentucky extensively and interviewed everybody and are in the procedure of creating some documentary. So Vinny fucking knows exactly what's going on, okay? He knows.
Yeah.
All right? Just FYI.
Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. So serious.
It's extremely complicated. Look, this is not a simple case. This is not a case that is only told by the, 7 to 10 seconds that was shown at the preliminary hearing. The story is one that's told over a several year period, and most especially and specifically, it is told over the weeks prior to that ultimate moment that you see there on the video. The first thing he said to the investigators was, "I'm concerned that they were going to take or have taken my wife and daughter." We believe that that Mickey believes strongly that his wife and daughter and family were in imminent danger. Now, we believe at the same time that the pressure and anxiety and other factors that I'm not going to discuss tonight, we'll leave that for another.
What pressure and anxiety should he have?
See, that's why I think that involves what was going on at home. I think go ahead, Jody. Sorry.
Sorry, no. And the fact that he's been threatened by Daniel Dotson, and he's worried about exposing.
He just done that deposition.
Yeah. So
what was it? 3 days before. Yeah. So he was still concerned with his testimony. I mean, I would guess that would have been something. Probably still concerned with, did I say anything wrong, or
Yeah. I'm going to have to do an imitate Vinny through this. I'm sorry.
Today, but we believe that his mental health had been impaired, and certainly was accelerated due to this civil deposition. Enough witnesses had interacted with him and heard him convey the fact that he was afraid that others were going to cause him or his family harm.
Why?
So you basically have three options. One,
keep them secrets.
There was no objective threat, and this is all a complete fabrication within his own mind, that it's completely subjective. The threat is completely within his own mind. And then the second possibility is that there was someone around the corner, and he was only perceiving an actual and objective threat. So under the first scenario, then I think we are certainly being prudent in exploring his mental health. And under the second scenario, then there certainly is a, another element of the case. But I think there's a third option. And according to our investigation and what we've seen, I expect it will be that the truth is a combination of both. I believe there was an objective threat to his family, but I believe that his mental health was impaired to a degree that it impacted his ability to perceive immediacy and, the imminent threat of that, the imminent nature of that threat, Vinny, as well as the magnitude. So
my understanding of that is they've got two insanity defense options at the moment. So they're going for innocent from insanity or the extreme emotional distress. Now they've sealed the actual I think it's KPS. Yeah. The psych evaluation that they did initially, they've sealed that and they won't release it. And that should contain a diagnosis of some sort. But the Commonwealth are trying to actually get him to have another psych eval. And their argument is, well, there was nothing wrong with the first one. You can't just go and continually get psych evaluations until you get someone that agrees with what you're trying to put forward. That was his argument.
Yeah.
And it's fair enough. Whether they get another one, I don't know. But as far as I was aware, that KSP was a government or like a Commonwealth psych that did the initial evaluation.
I'm not sure about that. I know they have people that work, with the Kentucky State Police that, they're not necessarily officers, they have, nurses and, different people trained for different crimes, I guess you would say, like how to investigate certain crimes. So, I'm sure they have investigators that, would specialize maybe in stuff, but it makes you wonder what they're not wanting to release or why they're not wanting to release it. Real quick, side note, footnote, there is a documentary called The Grey Gods that has just come out, and it is a documentary about the abuse of power and everything going on in the Kentucky State Police Department. And it is, it's emotional. It's a roller coaster. It scares you to death. A lot of different emotions with it. But, I'll say this, not all cops are bad, but there are some bad ones. So, but I just want to throw that out there if, anybody interested in watching it.
Where is it playing?
It's streaming. I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to remember what I watched it on. But it's called The Grey Gods. Okay. And, it shows a lot of the recent cases of, people handcuffed and getting just, bad things, happening to them. And, but like I said, not all of them are bad. So, but it does kind of scare you to think, they can do whatever they want. So,
yeah,
it's kind of scary, but that's the kind of like with this paper, or this, not paper, this assessment of his, you would think they would have to release it as part of evidence, like where it would be evidence in the case. The defense has a right to see, and I would think use it as evidence.
Well, I think they both can use it. They just can't
release it
to the public. And it's called The Grey Gods, Jenny. And I'm just having a look now. It's a 6-part investigation documentary series by Wave Originals. Actually, it looks like it's on YouTube.
Yeah, they released it about a week or two ago. Or that's when I seen it. So it should, I'd say by now, should be on there.
It might just be like shorts and advertisements. Here's how to watch it. Grey Gods, a 6-part. Whistleblower in Grey Gods asked for change in new letter. This is just showing YouTube and Wave 3 News.
Yeah. So
I can't see it anywhere else. Oh, yeah. Watch directly on the Wave News Grey Gods page. Okay.
Yeah.
Stream on connected TV apps, including, Wave News Grey Gods. Search that up on Google and you should find it.
I don't think the public knows, like, what some people have been put through.
No.
And it's not that, we maybe more or less, we've not committed any crimes. It's just if they've got something that, they want you to shut up or bad stuff happens, and it's kind of gives you an eye kind of a glimpse of what people, of why when we say we're scared, this will show you why we're scared. Because I mean, once they get you in those cuffs, you're theirs. I mean, that's it.
Yep. You're in the system, and you've got.
If you make it to jail, you know, it's kind of one of those. Yeah, you're scared you won't even make it to jail. And you know that fear. That's kind of why like I said, I don't have a side. It's hard to even have a side in this because what Mickey did was wrong and what Kevin done was wrong. So you got, you know, the two wrongs there. So it's not like I even have a side with it, but I do understand that fear of they're going to hurt my family if I don't do this. If I don't do a certain thing.
Like, okay, yeah, I get it. So you're saying that Mickey does have that real fear, but he hasn't named that. And that's the first fucking time he's felt it. He hasn't had to live for 40 fucking years experiencing it.
Right.
Yeah.
He was on the good side. You know, he was on the side that nobody messed with. You know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, he had no idea what it was like to be put in a corner and said, now listen, this is what's going to happen and this is how it's going to go. And
until the deposition.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, but I don't have any.
Like I said, it's hard to even pick a side. You know, however.
Yeah.
It is because, you know, he watched other people get done that way.
Correct. And that's why he was so fucking scared in the hallway.
Because he knew. He knew.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
And he enabled that.
Yep.
He didn't have to become a sheriff.
No.
He wasn't qualified. He had no fucking experience. He's apparently intellectually disabled from this.
Had no training. He had no state training.
Correct. Yes. So he made his bed. He chose to dance with the fucking devil. Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's why it's hard for me to, like, when people say, oh, there's the Mullen side and there's the Stine side.
No, there's not. No,
there is no side.
They were on the same fucking team.
Exactly.
One just turned their head. One just turned their head. That's it. And got paid for it.
And that's how that's why I can't say, well, this or that, you know, but I mean, I think he deserves a fair trial. But like I said, you know, the fear was real. I do believe the fear was real. I do, because, you know,
if you have 3 nights of sleep, you're going to be paranoid. You're going to be fucking
out of it.
Things that aren't, you know, you won't be behaving normally. That's normal. That's sleep deprivation. It's not insanity.
But if you count the days, they said it was 5, I think, right? 5 days. Okay, that means 2 days before the deposition, he couldn't sleep. And he hadn't slept since the deposition.
Yeah. Can you imagine with Daniel Dotson breathing down your neck?
Yeah. That's why I said he had to be on his toes. I mean, really. Because he knew you just don't mess with them. You don't. It's just, you know. And they make sure you pay if you do.
He knew about Sabrina as well 2 years beforehand, and he chose to do nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
All those women go through all of that bullshit.
Yep.
And still go through it. So, no, fuck you. Fuck you. You had a choice. No. No.
Yeah.
Fuck the lot of you.
Right. I said, because, you know, it hurts because, you know,
he had
I don't know. You know how some people was relieved that happened to the judge, and you know, like I said, it was bad. You know, it kind of horrified me that it even happened. But you know, if you know the truth, it's kind of like, well, you kind of look at it completely, I guess, differently. Like you were saying, for you know, you've heard all of our stories, so hearing our stories and then looking at the case through those eyes, is completely different. And I think that's why a lot of people don't understand what even's going on with it. You know,
No, they don't.
Yeah,
they don't, and they fucking need to.
Definitely, because it's hard to understand if you don't know. You know, it's like me and you was talking when we first met. You know, me trying to explain things to you, and I'm throwing names out there like you know who I'm talking about. And, you know, you're thousands of miles away and never even heard of Whitesburg. You know, and I'm throwing names, and you're like, "Huh? Who? What?
It took me a bit, but I got there. But the main thing for me was I was struggling to get around the fact that every second person had the same fucking surname.
You
and trying to place them somewhere, but I worked it out. But like, you don't have to be, in my opinion, like you're cruel and sadistic, doing all those fucking abusing women and all the sexual abuse and all the rest of it. But you're just as bad if you know that shit's fucking happening and you turn a blind eye.
Turn a blind eye, because I mean, you're watching a human being be degraded and degraded and abused to the lowest point, to where they don't even know they have any self-worth anymore. And you listen to their stories and it's like, oh my God, you know.
And every one of those women is someone's daughter.
Right. And you know, and they all tell the same story. They don't know each other, but they're telling the exact same stories. And it's like, and you know, that's not a coincidence.
I'm still having people email me and telling me that it's different cop, it's a different location, but it's the same fucking story.
Same story. Yeah. And it's so sad because it's just unbelievable. I have been talking to a mother that her daughter, Renata, was beat to death. He just, with his fist, beat. I mean, it's gruesome what he done. Matt Butler was supposed to, you know, support the family, get them through it, guide them through all this, and he came across that way in the start. But he ended up letting this boy plea. Let him take the plea. And he got 19 years. And you know, this family's devastated. And you know, he told them straight out, if you don't like it, turn me in. Go turn me in. You know. And so they have. They've been writing letters and everything. And you know, he didn't even sit down with this victim's family and say, you know, listen. You know, the evidence hadn't even come back. The DNA evidence hadn't come back. There were so many factors, and it was like he just wanted to hurry up and get this case out of his way and not have to fool with it. And you know, this family's just crushed, heartbroken, and you know that they're trying, you know, pass a law, Renata's law, and it's a good idea. They have a petition for it, but you know, they were expecting the county to have their back, you know, with what happened to their daughter, their child, and it's heartbreaking, you know, because they had no say in what happened, none, and you know, it's been hard for them. And you know, there's so many people in our county though that feel that way, that you know, never got justice, may never get justice. And it's sickening because they walk around nose in the air like, who cares? And that's how he came across to that family, was, who cares how you feel? You don't like it, write a letter, you know, stand in line. So it floors me, the things that they have done and got by with.
Well, we've got someone else here that can tell us all about that too.
Yes.
How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
All right.
I don't want to be on camera. I'm working out in the yard, so I'm sweaty and dirty, and
that's all good, love.
But I did want to get on and say hi, you know.
Oh, it's lovely to hear from you. I haven't seen and heard from anyone for ages.
I know. I talked to Angie that works for the documentary company, Fox, that's doing the documentary, and we were actually talking about you yesterday. So it's funny that you had this show today. She's supposed to get in contact with you, by the way.
Yeah, she's got my number.
Yeah, she's going to call you soon. She's been on vacation and took her little short break, but she's going to call you soon. So
yeah, she wants to be
she's a sweetheart.
Bullshit.
She's a sweetheart. She's a good person.
She
I
really
like her.
is. Yeah. She's been good to me and good to my son. That's for sure.
I think all of us, if shit hits the fan, all of us is like, call Angie.
Right, call Angie. Yeah. I
Let
had
her
heard from her for
know.
a while, and that was like very unlike Angie. So I called her, and she's like, "Oh, I've been on vacation, blah blah blah," and and she's kind of at a standstill, waiting on a trial date and all that stuff. So
Yeah. So but we all do it. If if we're going to court and we're scared, it's like, let her know we're going. If we don't come home, you call her.
let me tell you an experience I had the last few days.
I know.
My son and his fiance broke up. Let's just say they grew apart.
Oh.
So when my ex-husband died, my son's dad, we got him a dog right after he died, a gray lab. Well, he let her take everything in the house down to the toilet brush, and it was his dog, so we kept it. Well, of course, the police was called. The gentleman that kept pulling me over, that they've already wrote a letter to the mayor about, comes in, and another officer was with him. He come in, he asked questions, said his job is a civil matter, settle it there. Yep. Well, the other officer knew I had to talk about me and my case, my sexual assault case in Letcher County. And that's all that they said and talked about. My addiction,
my gosh.
history. It was terrible. When I heard it,
dog ownership.
When we had cameras in the house, and Rachel knew that. And so when I listened to cameras, I was heartbroken. Like, I just couldn't believe it. She was, saying the total opposite of everything. Like, she had to help me, and I loaned the girl money, done everything, I tried every way in the world. I done everything I could for that girl. And of course, her and that cop just said all they talked about was me and my case over there. It just broke my heart, for my son to sit and listen to that.
Right, and tell you
her trash in the house while the officer's in there, and her mom tells her, "Quit trashing the house, or they'll use it against us," while the cop's standing in there.
And this is recent.
Yeah, this was just the other day. Yeah,
I'm glad you had cameras. I'm glad you.
I wrote to the city manager, and then I called. I think he's a sergeant, and he's a really good guy. He said he'd take care of it. That guy wasn't supposed to be out many calls on me anyway, but he would make sure that me or my son. So now, I'm scared of retaliate. I'm scared to even move over here at my son's. We're fixing up his dad's house, and it scares me to death because, like that cop right there, like that's all he focuses on. Like, he talked about nothing else.
I know it. I mean, I don't know because you've been through a lot more, but I mean, the thing with the cops, I mean, we're in the same situation right now. My kids are literally sleeping at work. They won't drive home.
Right, it's scary.
Tags. I have insurance. They're legal. They have no warrants. Everybody's good, but they are so scared because within a 2-week span, we got pulled over 4 times and searched.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what happened with him before. 4 days in a row, he pulled me over, and I said, "Ain't this profile?" And he said, "No, it's knowing your people." And I was like, "Well, what does that mean?"
Right.
So they, Joe wrote a letter to the mayor and to stop. And then when he gets his car, he comes over here. He kicked their legs about that dog. You know what I mean? And just like the other cop, he came in and asked questions. Hey, this is a civil matter. Now, he stayed in there for 2 hours talking nonstop about my case, my sexual assault case. You know what I mean? Which is just nonsense. See, it didn't go the way I planned. Let me find out I planned any of it. Like, I didn't bring this out. There was a gentleman that brought out all the information, but it was either tell the truth or take an escape charge.
Yeah.
What would you do? no, I shouldn't have been in the situation to begin with, and I take my responsibility for that. But you're going to treat me like you do every other person. That's only fair. You know,
You know, Sabrina, the thing was, like, with your case, you know, they did a lot of things wrong too. You know,
oh yeah.
you in that program, they should have guided you
Mm-hmm.
away from staying with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
They should have said,
exactly.
no, ma'am, you all can't
Yeah.
stay together. But no, they
Yeah.
allowed that, you know.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's a lot of, because none of us, when we're in addiction, is in our right minds. I mean,
No, exactly.
so we're
And
going to do
there's
whatever
something
they tell us, you know.
right. And there's something wrong with the system when there's no paperwork to be found and me on house arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That she didn't have no paperwork whatsoever. Judge Kraft knew they.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I think she's
And
talking
that's not
about
a
Patty.
crime.
So
You
you
know?
dropped out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Mm.
1 second. I was walking back to my son's. Hold on 1 second. It'll clear out.
Are you talking about Patty Stockham?
Yes, I am. And I continue to write the senator every day, emailing. I have wrote letters. She didn't get a fine. And I was told, now this is not 100% fact, that she went from operating under the name, under Inc. to LLC with no insurance still.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand why Judge Kraft or her was not held responsible for their action. No, he didn't even
For
get an
theirs.
ethical violation. And
No,
I tried. I wrote and wrote and wrote.
he's not had anything. And, you know, Sabrina's not the only one he's, you know, kind of screwed things up with. So, that's my question. I'm not understanding it. You know, we're having to deal. He's in our case with the kids, and he was my ex-husband's attorney. He was the defense attorney against a rapist when my daughter was 11. He was his attorney and got him off the charges. We've had him mingled in our life, and I know it's a small county and that happens, but I just don't feel like, he can't stand me.
Right.
So it's kind of like I don't feel like I'm going to get a fair anything in his courtroom. We never have.
Not.
And now knowing all the other dirty dealings that it wasn't just our family, it's kind of like now you look at it and think, why hasn't somebody done something with, but it kind of bounces around with a lot of them in that courthouse.
Exactly.
They don't do
This
anything.
is what I've been trying to focus on, and one is they're asking for a clemency pardon for me for the charge in Letcher County over this. So anybody that would be willing to write a letter for me of recommendation would be awesome. And second of all, I'm trying to work on the 1983 Act.
I have been studying that one too.
Well, Bethany told me that ACLU has tried to get that act turned over. She said, you're not going to get it turned over. So what I thought about doing is trying to make some kind of law or do something and put it in Jennifer Hill's name.
Yeah.
There was suspicious stuff around her death, and everybody overlooks it. And I would like to make some kind of law or bring knowledge to people about the 1983 Act, because most people don't know it.
Right.
Which is insane that you only got 1 year to report a rape from a cop.
Exactly. When there is no statute of limitations on
on anybody else.
On anybody else, yeah. But on a cop,
you got 1 year.
Yeah.
And I think that's insane. So,
That's
whatever
probably,
y'all can help me come up with some ideals, like to maybe to do something, because I would like to do something in her name in honor of her. Try to change something to make her death not
make it mean.
make her life mean something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's what I really want to do.
Is Nicole still here, or Smokeahonis? She's one you need to talk to when you talk about legal things and
right.
That girl, let me tell you, she's brilliant.
Well, I got a good lawyer friend Now, and he is awesome. He's a behind the scenes person and don't want his name mentioned.
Yeah.
That he's been gone for a little while and he will be back this coming week and he is willing to help. But I really would, like to do something. And like Bethany said, if nothing else, bring knowledge to people about the 1983 Act.
Yeah.
Because, until my case, I'd never heard of it.
Right.
Her family got
Where's
knocked
the
out of
1983
everything.
Act cover? Is that
Huh?
It's the 1983 Act? Is that like a statute on sexual assault?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, on sexual assaults. Yeah. And
And
it
it
covers
outlines-
It's got a lot
cops.
to do with, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. The
Yeah.
law enforcement.
Yeah.
It's got a lot to do with jails, I think.
Yeah. I do too.
Because it'll tell you, if I'm not mistaken, if it's because I've been looking at a couple of them, but it's the one that it goes right down the line telling them how or what their responsibility is as a jailer and, things that they're required to do and things that they should be held accountable for, which has never happened.
And I bet you they're all fucking different in Kentucky than anywhere else.
Yeah. And I don't want to just let it go. I can't.
No.
I just can't. I made a promise to her son that I would do something for her, and I'm not going to stop until I do. So that's where I'm at with that. And so any letters from me would be appreciated, and any ideals that y'all may have.
So what is it you need a letter for?
Just a recommendation. We're going to ask for a clemency pardon from the governor for my charge in Letcher County. Now, mind you, he's kin to one of them in Letcher County. I can't remember who he's kin to over there. Do you remember, Brandy?
I'm not sure.
Me either. But I do know he is kin to somebody. So I'm not really looking to get it, but,
at
least try.
Yeah.
So,
Have you got like a draft of a letter, like just a basic that we can
and it has to be, listen, they need it handwritten.
Yeah.
They said it's more personalized. Yeah.
Put in it, if they got an idea what they can put in it so that it covers what you need.
Yes.
I think just that, isn't it kind of like I know Sabrina, she's a good person. She's been through a lot, that kind of.
Yeah. And kind of things like that, and, hey,
he was done wrong.
Right. So why should she be held responsible when
it was her?
She was, house arrest officer. Something I don't know exactly.
Like we was talking earlier, from the beginning they were misguiding you. You know what I mean? So
they were right. My lawsuit was set up from the get go. It really was, and I didn't see it, and I was really done to it. And
but when you do it,
I could care less about the money. Money was never an object for me. I lost so much in my life. Like I went to jail a week after being dead. Said I failed a drug test. I went to Leslie County Jail the same day and passed one.
Yeah.
I spent 6 more months of my life away from my family. And
it's time you can't get back. That's what people don't understand. These are birthdays, holidays, family members passing away,
Right. Yeah, thank God I was home before my ex-husband died. I thank God for that every single day.
Because, it's when you're in there, who cares?
Yeah, nobody cares. And nobody, what do you do when they say you failed a test here and you go down here and you pass one? Like they could have cared less. And I got out a week after being. Yeah. And, I have, I make mistakes every single day. I am not perfect. And
we all make them.
Right. But I do try. I'm good to people. And I hold my head up high. I have to.
You should. You should.
Absolutely.
Because your strength, and you know, you were the first. I mean, you paved the way for everybody else, you know. So I mean, you should. I think though, you know, it's like I was talking earlier. You walk in that courtroom and they just give you that look.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you know, we're beneath them. You know, and it's just like, well, all right then. You know, we
I
know how
tell
this
my
is going to
family
go.
every single day of my life, I'm either going to be in prison or dead. And that's the way I feel. Things still happen to this day. Things go missing from my son. People break in and they just think I'm crazy or whatever, or just ignore it all. And it got to the point I wouldn't even get out of the house. And I barely
Right.
get out now, you know?
I'm that way. I mean, when they started pulling us over, you know, here, I thought, holy crap. And then I thought, well, maybe, you know, it's a different place, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But then it keeps happening and it keeps
Right.
happening, and, you know, different things happen. And it's just like, it feels so targeted, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like,
Hey, I'm terrified about, reporting that cop. Because the very next day, the officer stopped. There's a guy, one of my family members working on a bridge for us, and he stopped and was asking about concrete. And I felt like that was just kind of like, hey, I'm watching you guys.
yeah, just a heads up.
Yeah, that's kind of, and it might not have been. I don't know, but, it terrifies me. Terrifies me.
And, you know, that's what I said. Anytime I've noticed that we're all still this way. Even if somebody knocks on the door and you're not expecting somebody,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
ought to stop and freeze and look at each other like,
Yeah.
what,
Are you expecting someone? No, wasn't me.
was it? Who is it? Did you
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, like, it terrifies me. And,
And we're as legal can be. There is nothing. But still, that pit of your stomach feeling
yeah.
of
Yeah.
they're going to drag it. They're going to find something. They're going to do something. They're going to do,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like when I seen that officer, I didn't really think a lot about it. And then, what? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. But then, after I heard, I mean, it was terrible. Like you just,
The stuff, yeah.
she was telling me I had meth in the house and all this. I'm like, oh my God, like, come in my house and see if I got meth. I don't care.
Right.
Come on in.
I'll go drug test
Yeah,
right
right.
now.
Yes. But of course, you know what he
Anytime.
told her? He believed everything she said. My son has never been arrested. He's got one of the best names in this town, but yet he called him a liar. Sure
Yeah.
did.
She was smearing your son's name as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's what kind of officer he is. Now, why he's after me, I don't know. Like him saying, knowing your people. What does that exactly mean? What kind of people am I?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of people that told the truth on an officer,
Yeah.
a house arrest
Yeah.
officer who had done this to many
Yeah.
women. Is that what kind of woman I am? Because, yeah, I am that kind of woman. Sorry. I'm
Yeah.
not taking that
You're,
escape charge for
you're
anybody.
the risk.
Yeah.
You're the threat.
So if I end up in jail, guys, y'all better be happy for me.
What was that?
'Cause
Oh,
it scares me.
well,
I said, if
there
I
is
end
going
up
to
in
be
jail
hell
or
to pay.
something,
There will be fucking hell to pay.
yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
it scares the hell out of me.
That's how
You know,
we are. I mean, just going into court. I mean, you know, like we have been here lately with this stuff with the kids, and you know, the whole time going, you're sick to your stomach.
yes,
It's
yes,
like you got your insurance and your tag, register. You've got all that sitting there ready. You know, it's like one of them things. It's like going into the twilight zone.
yes.
And I told Sarah, I said, as soon as I cross into Letcher County, it's like I get depressed. I get sad. I'm like, there's just so many feelings
I don't know
of
Letcher County, and I've sent off for some open records act to them. You know what they sent me back? If I want them, come get them.
come get them.
They said, come get them. Yeah,
Come
Yeah.
get 'em.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
wait,
that's biting you.
yeah, it really is. Did you
And
think they get in trouble for that? Absolutely not. No.
and they don't care to lie, because we was told that they swore that they handed the USB that we were dealing with to Sarah. And wrong. I went up there and picked it up. she's never even had it in her hands. She don't even know where it's at. So it's like,
how can they hold her in contempt for that?
Yeah, they got her in contempt after he's missed all these visits, and it's just been a mess. But they don't care to lie. That's
No, they don't.
Not one bit.
And what kind of system is it that he can take me off house arrest and the court don't notice? I mean, nobody notices that. So where is the flaw? I called everywhere to try to find out who's responsible. Basically, there's nobody over the house arrest company supervising these private house arrest companies. Nobody. They can do what they want. Yeah. The jail is supposed to be, and the jail should have been sued. And you never know what might happen in the future.
It's coming. It's coming.
Because I mean,
saying that to Brandy earlier, the civil suit that Judge Mullen's wife has taken out is exactly what, because she's suing them because they didn't act on noticing these behavioral changes with Mickey and did nothing about it. It's the same fucking law.
Yeah. It took me months. A sexual assault interview should never be on TV, first of all. Okay?
No, it shouldn't.
No.
It should be a default. And then the picture of me and my bra, it took me months to get that picture took down. And it's illegal.
Right.
Found out now, and also found out people, I'm not, and this don't, Jody, it's not talking about you at all, that if they are talking about me, doing a show about me with my name on it and asking for money, that's against the law.
Yes.
And we know somebody who does it constantly, and I'm all for somebody bettering themselves, but not at the expense of my son. He cannot even get a job in this town. There's a few of my ex-husband buddies stepped up that just gave him work so he can pay his bills, and I'm so grateful for that. But like everybody else, they just turn their nose.
Yep. It's a good thing I don't fucking ask for money, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not my objective. It never has been.
I know, and I know that's why I said it's not talking about you at all.
Yeah.
And the thing with your,
the only thing I would ask for is like I would set up which I think I have somewhere, a GoFundMe for you guys somewhere.
Yeah, I told Angie, I said, let me tell you something. This lady Jody has put the work and research in it. I said if she'd been my lawyer, things would have went way different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, you never know what the future holds. Just like a house arrest company. You think I'm gonna let Patty Stocking absolutely get by with this? I will not stop till the day I die.
Mm-hmm.
I email Philip Wheeler every single day of my life. I email him, and he's not called me back for some reason. But I do email because I'm not going to stop until if she is operating, so she shut down.
Yep.
So
you missed my intro. I've got a new intro and video that I've been playing around with. It's called No Stone Unturned.
I've been so busy with my son, and it's his first little breakup, and I've just got a lot on my plate because I got 3 houses to take care of.
Well, our kids, we have always told everybody our kids are, that's all we got. That's all we got. They took everything else. That's all we got. And, if it affects the kids, and I knew with mine, if I didn't get him out of there, the minute we got the opportunity, we would still, Dad said it the other day. He said, sis, if you all still live back there, he said, Caleb would probably in jail. He'd be back staying in jail. And, it's until what would be going on with the rest of us, because.
Well, that's exactly right. And I was told, see, my son, his dad and grandparents, the house we had are in a very valuable piece of property, very valuable. And I was told that they were trying to force us out. So, part of me wants to move, I really do want to move, but part of me wants to stay. You know
Right.
what I mean? Just to make them piss him off.
Yeah.
If
Oh my
if
God, you're
It
so
really
like
does.
me.
I think our
Yeah.
circumstances, if it hadn't have been for that flood, you know, we would have
Yeah.
probably not as, you know, as quickly got out and just said, forget it. You know, the flood was our major kick in the pants to get out.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
but because the whole time, you know, he can't, it's so traumatizing for him to go back. I mean, it's just one big stress ball. You know, if he
Yeah.
has to go back for a doctor's appointment or something like that, you know, it's like, Mom, go with me. And you know, it's like he's so institutionalized and just by them, because, you know, it's a whole different ball game down there in that jail. It's not
Yeah.
like being put in jail somewhere else, you know, and so he's terrified of, like, you know, something
Absolutely.
going wrong. So it's so hard for him to go back, even back there. So I think about all of his friends though that can't get out and, you know, don't have an opportunity, and, you know, and I just, you know, it breaks my heart because
Yeah.
because it's not getting better for them, you know.
No, and if you see, I reposted something my cousin. It was about, I can't remember, it's a judge that posted it, a picture of this boy, and he was talking about, you know, mental health issues, and he was a boy they found dead, you know, a couple of days. But
You're breaking up again, sweetheart.
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Anyway, okay, just let me know. But anyway, it was talking about mental health, and you know, now they just put you in jail and they took away all these mental health. I got a friend right now that's trying to go to detox because she don't want to go to art or nothing like that. She wants to check into detox, and there's no place you can go to detox unless you're bad enough. Now they will evaluate you to see. Now, and if you're just doing methamphetamine, they won't keep you.
Right.
They say you don't withdraw. Now let me tell you something. In my honest opinion, you say you put in your body every single day, you're going to withdraw, because I did. I withdraw really bad on meth.
Yeah.
I drove 6 hours to Corbin to a detox center, and I got done. I was told I was not on enough drugs to be kept.
Yep.
But my friend is trying to find a detox center she can go to, and can't find one.
Can't find one.
So
yeah.
no. And then, like the mental health, instead of putting them in jail, like, I know how much I've changed.
Yeah.
And I never dreamed in a million years mental health could ever affect me the way it has.
Yeah.
You know, my son, one reason I didn't want to go to trial is I didn't want to hear what he had to say, because I knew in my heart you know, how much my mental health has changed. And, you know, like, and people don't really get that.
Well, see,
I operate every day. But could I go out and work a full-time job? Absolutely not. I would absolutely put it out.
Yeah.
And they fight me on everything. Like my CSI check, they turn me down again, even though my psychiatrist says, "Road, I cannot work because my panic attacks and we in details," and they still turn me down.
Yeah.
But I am getting a check, and if they find that I'm wrong, guess what? I got to pay all that money back.
Right.
But, you know, instead of throwing people in jail, like, people, you know, do have trauma is really real. Like, I see a therapist twice a week.
Well, I'm in a situation right now. I haven't said anything, which I haven't been online in a while, but my middle son, who he was hit by a car in 2016, and he's lucky he's even here, but he got a real bad frontal head injury, and he went from a brilliant mind in college, doing great, to probably 13, I would say, you know, tantrums and all. And he's currently in jail right now. And he had a mental break and snapped. And he just, I mean, he busted TV. I mean, he just lost it. And so
that was induced,
we went down. Huh?
That was induced.
Yes. So we went to the jail and tried to talk to him. I mean, even though he attacked us, he's still my son. He's still my child, you know, and I know why.
And you know he's got problems.
So they told us, they said, well, we'll try to get him. It's called mental health court. And it was like where he would have to go get help, and they make sure they take their medicine and, you know, do what they're supposed to do for, you know, to get them lined out. And because he didn't seem too crazy, I guess, they said, no, he don't qualify for that.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's in jail, and it's not helped anything, you know. It's just kind of like,
well, when I saw that's when I had my breakdown, and like I can remember, and I thought but it was different. And sorry, and
Hello.
Like it's
That's better.
sometimes it's so they don't realize what they did take from it.
right.
And you know, they have to know.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
She's right, though. They do not realize what all they actually have took or have done to us. I mean, your mind, like, it fractures off, and you're just out like, wow, you know. Yeah. So you have this great fear at all times. You know, I'm on high alert. You know, like I said, when we go down there, you're on high alert.
That's not good for your body either. Like,
oh no,
you're in a state of flight.
Yeah, it makes my MS flare something awful because my body is on top, you know, like at all times, you know, and it's not just a 4-hour trip, you know, 2 down, 2 back, but it's the 2 hours you're there, just panic, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get in and out as fast as possible.
I'm trying to work out how to link this slide. It's information on who to go to. Let's see if I can read it. That's better. Civil rights case law. So it's the judicial complaints against Kentucky judges, where to go. It's the Kentucky Judicial Conduct Commission, and it's got the active link there with all their information. I might email it to you, Brandy.
Okay.
All right. Because you can't read it on me, and I can't seem to tag it. I can't upload it.
I went and got my eyes looked at, and so I've got some bifocals on the way. I was like, oh man, he said the B word.
I tried bifocals, but I couldn't do it, like, because I do need it for both long and short. But I've got my problem was I've got really, really, really big boobs. So for me to look down, I couldn't see past my tits. And so when I actually had to look down, going downstairs, I had to lean so far forward. I was nearly falling over.
Well, I take mine if I'm inside. I wear them on top of my head, you know, and I'll just flop them down if I need them. So, but
yeah, they didn't work for me. I had
did work.
I had to lean forward at 45-degree angle before I could see the ground.
And with our balance issues, then you got to worry about tipping right on over.
Hey, but I'll never break my fucking nose.
Yeah.
If I fall forward, the nose is safe.
Talking about boobs. I told Sarah, went to the tanning bed the other day with her, and I come back home and my chest was burned up, and I said, I've never got sun on my chest. You know, she said, you've always had big boobs. You could never, get to. Couldn't get there.
Well,
So
there you go.
I told her, I said, I'm used to being a chunky dunker. I said, so I'm just not used to all this. So I lost a whole other person. So
I wish that happened to me. Like the opposite happens to me because I'm on prednisolone or cortisone. Yeah. I just have to
steroids. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're vile.
Oh, it sounds like everyone's been in a bit of a crisis month. I think, like, just not crisis, but overwhelmed. I honestly feel like I'm just being attacked. Like
that's kind of it's been really. I mean, like I said, you feel like you're kind of in the twilight zone because when things start just one right after another. That's either linked to, your income, your freedom, and you're getting just hammered. You kind of have to think it's a little more than coincidence. So it's been pretty rough here lately. So but we've noticed it's kind of tapered and slowed down a little bit. So I
that's good.
Kind of got me scratching my head. I might have,
Is it the calm before the storm?
Huh?
Is it the calm before the storm?
Either that, or maybe I wasn't too smart with, my actions or things,
Teresa reckons so. Teresa says she's eaten dirt a lot over the past few years. Does that mean because you haven't got big boobs? Oh dear.
Has nothing, no padding to catch.
Nope. Yeah. Well, I've been going through tests and assessments and fucking paperwork, and I now have 5 independent workers that come out and give me assistance now every day.
Oh no, I don't know if I would. Well, I mean, yes, I would love that help, but you're like me. We're kind of.
I'm so used to being on my own,
right,
and having my own space and peace and quiet. That it's really. And look, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the help, but it's like I don't get fucking anything done. And there's always someone in and out of the house. There's always something happening. The cats just don't. They're like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm trying to roster everybody and interview them for a start, find the right people, roster them to the times that I need, fill the hours, get assessed. Like they've just done a 38-page fucking assessment on why I need a powered wheelchair. If you want to read a document to say how fucked up I am, there's fucking 38 pages of it right fucking there. I can't read it. I can't read it. I can't. It's like, okay, I believe you. I trust you. Just send it. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't
it's crazy. The requirements, with the insurance and things.
Put it in front of me in writing. It makes it real. And then they're like, oh, all right, well, we've bought some for a trial. Oh, fuck. Okay. That's in front of me now.
The other day they helped Dad back out to the car, and I was on the phone. I was on a phone call, and so normally I walk him out, but they walked him out, and he looked at me, and the nurse did, and he said, Now, you may need to come sit inside and get him in a wheelchair and get him out to the car. And I kind of looked over at him. Dad said, well, who's going to wheelchair her in there to get me?
Yep.
Like, thanks, Dad. So he told one of the doctors he said the other day, he said, you couldn't put the two of us together and make one good body.
No, that feeling.
Yeah. So I said, well,
everyone that comes in and says, do you need anything? I'm like, yeah, what do you want? A spine, new spine, thanks. That'd be great. I'm not joking. Like, they look at me stupid. I can't help it. I've got to laugh.
We have to laugh about it because if we
you
didn't,
have to laugh.
Have to laugh.
Oh, all right. I got a funny story for you. Okay, so I've got an electric bed, which I'm in right now. So it sits me up and it gives me, that's the position I can get in to take the pressure off my lower back. So it's like a zero gravity, 45-degree sort of thing like that.
Yeah.
And the bed remote has been playing up. Okay.
Oh no.
And my brother had built this overbed table, which I'm now using to stream from, which is great. So it goes right over the bed on wheels. And I was fucking around, organizing shit on it. And I must have touched the remote control and it's decided to start working. And it's raising my legs up. And I didn't realize until it hit the table that it's on the bed. And my girlfriend was standing here at the side and I'm like, fuck, it's hitting my leg. And she's like trying to lift it up and hold it and keep it off my leg. And I'm trying to find the remote and get it to work. And of course it wouldn't bloody work. So then I've had to log into my phone because I've got the app on my phone that I can control the bed from there. And after I've done all that fucking around and got rid of it, I've got the remote control and I've gone like this to throw it over my head and over across the room. And the insult of all insults is it fell out the back of my hand. I couldn't even throw the fucking thing. So I took it outside and smashed it with a hammer. Smashed it to smithereens.
You're lucky you didn't in your sleep kick your legs up.
Yep.
Fold you like a folding chair.
Yes, that's exactly what it was doing. And I couldn't turn the fucking thing off. I couldn't hold it hard enough to throw the fucking thing. I was just like, I lost my shit. Oh, well. Welcome back, Miss Serena.
Uh-oh.
Is she going again? I didn't yawn. It wasn't me. Yeah, she's still there. She might have dropped off.
Well, it's night time in Australia right now, ain't it? Or
yeah, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah,
10 past 2. Yeah, that's all right. I really do try to do the morning streams, and I can't. I'm too fucking stiff.
It takes me a good hour or two to even get woke up, my medicine, and cleaned up, dressed. It takes me a while.
Yeah.
Usually me and a cup of coffee and a cigarette for about an hour at least. And
then you add fluid tablets to that, so there's 2 hours of toilet time.
Yep. So there's always something.
Yep. I think I got into the shower eventually yesterday about 5:30 in the afternoon, just for people in and out and just couldn't get there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure you're appreciative of the help, but we are solitude people.
Well, I like company, but this went from 0 to fucking 100 overnight.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah, that's a big difference,
Yeah. Yep. And I
I
find
think
it
I
hard
would still strut
to
around naked though.
Yeah, I used to love walking around. No more naked gardening for me. I used to send you photos of not of me naked, but like I'd have my feet, sitting up on the coffee top, like the gardening table at the back, hosing the garden off, and I'd send it and saying, "Yep, naked gardening again," and I would be sitting out there naked. I get too hot, so I just put the hose over myself. I know I'm an idiot.
No. That's what we love about you.
Now the shit I do. Oh. But yeah.
Oh, I was going to tell you, I've been doing some research into my family tree, and I've been writing some articles on a relative that, well, my papa used to tell me stories about him all the time, but I got to looking into the history of everything, and he was the last man hung in Wise County, Virginia, they say he participated in the massacre. It was at the top of the mountain where Kentucky and Virginia meet, and so doing all the research into the family names and stuff. Oh my gosh, Jody.
No.
It's the same stinking names. I'm just the digger I deep. It's just like, and I actually had someone comment talking about like stole contracts and different things like that. And I'm like, well, who knows? But 133 years ago, roughly, when all this took place. And I'm just, it's the same story, just a different, different time.
Yep.
And so it's kind of interesting. The more I dig around, I thought, well, I found something, maybe.
Lisa, you need to get onto Brandy's Facebook page, because she does a history story, at least once a week, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I try to do at least one a day, because I've got a lot of stuff I've had written for a long time. Things that I just would write down and, put away and stuff. And I've been pulling some of that stuff out. And so I try to post something about every day. It's either, a memory of something, or,
photos too.
In this case, and then coal mining, and anything Appalachian, it's there probably.
So Lisa, is the Appalachian Storyteller, is that like a YouTube channel? Because she said you should watch the Appalachian Storyteller. They did a story this morning about the hangman and the last man hung.
I'll have to go look into it. We'll see the book by, he's a Fox. I can't remember his first name, but the book, The Trail of the Lonesome Pine, has the story or a character after Doc. Well, his name was Marshall Benton Taylor, and he was, but short, they called him Doc Taylor, or Red Fox, and he basically was different. He was a preacher, a deputy marshal, U.S. Marshal. He served in the Civil War. I mean, so he had different hats he wore, and he was one of those. He told them not to bury him for 3 days. He was coming back, so he was a little out there, but for that time, that was bad. So. Anyway, he was different, and he was speaking up about some things that the Mullinses and different family members didn't like too good. And so he was stirring a hornet's nest, and some stories say he did the massacre, and some stories, like our family story, says that he didn't, or they didn't believe he did or anything. And Plus two, they also tell that he didn't really hang either. So, yeah, he was a Mason, and the sheriff and about, I think they said they were 16 men in an enclosed gallows. You can look at the pictures of it on my page, but it was enclosed. I've never seen an enclosed gallows that you couldn't see what was going on. But the family story goes they buried a railroad tie, or that's what they packed out from under there, was a railroad tie. And he was supposedly, he has a stone marker because he was a Civil War veteran, but they wouldn't tell where he was actually buried at because they said grave robbers and different things like that. But the family story goes he went to Missouri and lived about another 10 to 12 years. So kind of interesting.
Oh, I think I found it. It does. So we have a quick look.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So this is on the Appalachian Storyteller, and it's called America's Deadliest Hangman. It was posted up 7 hours ago. Let's have a watch.
Some called him a man of mercy. Others called him the angel of death. This is the incredible true story of Bill Hanna, America's most notorious hangman. Our story begins in 1808 on the far side of the world, in the rugged highlands of Northern Ireland. It's here that a young couple named John and Polly Hanna made the hardest decision of their lives when they sold everything they owned except for their old, worn family Bible that had been passed down through the generations. Then they climbed aboard a crowded, rickety ship that left behind the only home they had ever known, bound for the distant promise of a better life in America. The voyage would test their determination at every turn. For nearly 8 long weeks, the wooden vessel was tossed across the vast Atlantic by towering seas and violent storms. Fresh water grew foul, and food became painfully scarce, and the cramped quarters soon became a breeding ground for disease. Before long, the dreaded ship fever swept through the passengers like wildfire, with each sunrise revealing more and more poor souls that were wrapped in canvas and then committed to the cold, unforgiving sea. Yet through it all, John and Polly clung tightly to one another and to their faith. While dozens aboard the ship never would live to see the shores of the New World, this young couple was somehow spared and landed in the land of opportunity. Indeed, early settlers were a hardy breed of men and women who had been tested by fire, and the Hannas were no different. For several weeks, they traveled inland before crossing the mighty Appalachian Mountains and floating the Ohio River for 10 more days before finally arriving in southern Illinois. The couple were amongst the first white settlers in an area now known as White County. There, the husband and wife would raise a family along the banks of the Wabash River for the rest of their years, operating a farm on the rich soil. And they worked hard, and they were blessed with long, happy lives together. And when the time came that their earthly bodies finally yielded to the hands of Father Time, the farm that they had labored so hard on was passed down to their oldest son, who also would spend his life building upon his parents' legacy, expanding the farm and establishing a major trading hub along the river that bordered it. Decades came and went, with each ensuing generation expanding the family estate further, and eventually it would contain over 2,200 acres of the most valuable farmland in the area. Enter into our story John and Polly's great-grandson, Phil Hanna. Now, Phil was born in 1873, less than a decade after the conclusion of the bloody war between the states. As a boy, the lad grew up in the grand family mansion that stood proudly overlooking the vast estate. Now, he was blessed with a sharp mind and attended the finest school in the region, where he excelled in mathematics and language. By every measure, Phil had been born into a life of comfort and privilege, one that his great-grandparents had risked everything to build. Unlike the generations before him, Phil never had to labor behind a mule or spend a long day in the field. His father hired farmhands to tend to those crops and livestock, while Phil was groomed for a different future. Now, don't get me wrong, he wasn't lazy. Far from it. This young man was a wizard with numbers, and from an early age, his father trusted him to keep the farm's books, to calculate payroll, purchase seed, and sell crops when the market was just right. Every penny that came in or out passed beneath Phil's careful eye. But for all his intelligence, there was one thing that the boy just couldn't stomach, and that was the sight of blood. Neighbors said Phil would turn pale or even faint outright if he happened to catch his mama butchering a chicken for supper. He couldn't bear to watch an animal slaughtered, and afterward, he would lose his appetite for days. Just the thought of it was enough to make his knees buckle. Well, anyways, the years came and went, and Phil learned every aspect of the family business, and when his pa died, Phil and his brother inherited the family estate. The brothers had long suspected that there might be an underground reserve of oil on the property, so they brought in a drilling crew, and lo and behold, they unearthed the largest oil supply in southern Illinois. The Hanna brothers were now tycoons, among the wealthiest elites in all of America. Phil grew into a highly successful businessman, becoming the president of the biggest bank in the area. Now, he was the first man to own an automobile in the entire county. Simply put, he was the very epitome of the American dream. Yet, the irony of this story is that while Phil Hanna was living a charmed life, much of the country was still untamed. The late 1800s and early 1900s were in many ways the nation's final days of the Wild West. Nearly every morning, newspapers across the country screamed with tales of bank robbers, bandits, gangsters, and mountain outlaws who gunned down any lawman brave enough to stand in their way. From the dusty western frontier to the hills of Kentucky and Tennessee, violence and lawlessness sold papers by the thousands. The public couldn't get enough of it. Whenever there was a notorious criminal that was finally captured, crowds packed courthouse steps, eager to hear every shocking detail firsthand. And for ordinary folks worn down by the endless routine of farm work and factory life, these sensational trials were as close to entertainment as they would ever know. But nothing was as thrilling as when a convicted criminal was sentenced to death. Now, I know it sounds bizarre and even morbid, but there was no bigger public event in this period of American history than a hanging. Folks would travel from all over the state in wagons, horseback, or by foot to be in attendance for the big day. Men, women, and children would arrive with picnic baskets 2 or 3 days before and claim their spot for the best vantage point. Hotels overflowed with visitors. Saloons stayed packed until dawn while hosting overnight hanging parties. Vendors lined the courthouse square and sold hot dogs, drinks, cigars, and even souvenirs to the thousands who came looking for a front row seat to witness history. And when the appointed hour finally arrived, there would sometimes be as many as 10 to 20,000 people packed onto a courthouse lawn to watch some poor soul make the walk from his jail cell to the gallows that had been constructed on site. Spectators jostled with one another to get as close as they could while the dead man walking made his way through the crowd, hoping that they could get a glimpse of his eyes. Some prisoners were so overcome with fear that they had to be carried by sheriff deputies. Others shuffled forward in leg irons with quiet dignity, and many times they were carried to the gallows in the back of a wagon, sitting atop the very same pine coffin that they would be buried in just moments later. Fathers hoisted their children on their shoulders so they could take in all the action. Mothers craned their necks for a better look. Every eye remained fixed on the scaffold. And after the soon-to-be departed had made his way up the steps, towering over the gathering, a hush would fall over the crowd as they hung on each and every one of his last words. Sometimes criminals expressed remorse for their evil deeds and begged God for mercy. Other times they were defiant and maintained their innocence. Many were given one last cigarette or a shot of whiskey before a hood was placed over their head. And other times they professed their faith in the afterlife and requested that their favorite old-time church hymn was sung as the noose was gently slipped on. The outlaw would start out singing Amazing Grace or the Old Rugged Cross, and soon the entire sea of onlookers would bow their heads or raise their hands and passionately sing every word. And once the song was concluded, the deputy would give a signal to another man who would immediately pull a lever that would activate a trap door, and the convicted felon would instantly drop out of this world and land on the other side of eternity. Indeed, what a spectacle it was. Folks would return to their small towns and would talk about the big event for years amongst their friends and neighbors. It was one of these events in December of 1896 that had all of southern Illinois buzzing with excitement. Word had spread that Hamilton County was about to carry out the first legal execution in its history. The condemned man was none other than Fred Bethme, a German immigrant convicted of murdering his wife and 4-year-old son as they walked home from church. Nearly 20,000 people came to witness the occasion, but the local sheriff only granted 500 admission tickets that were given away to a lucky few. And as fate would have it, one of those tickets found its way into the hands of 23-year-old Phil Hanna. Little did he know at the time, but that ticket would change his entire life. You see, Phil was standing in the front row as that trap door swung open and dropped Mr. Bethme. But something went wrong, and the rope snapped and sent the criminal crashing to the ground, breaking his leg. The sheriff quickly grabbed another rope and hauled the poor fella back up to the top of the scaffold and dropped him a second time. Again, something went wrong, and his neck wasn't broken during the fall. Instead, over the next 23 grueling minutes, he was slowly strangled to death. The entire ordeal horrified Mr. Hanna, so much so that he had recurring nightmares for months that traumatized him. Night after night, he relived the execution and was unable to erase the terrible scenes from his mind. For weeks after, Phil could hardly bring himself to speak of what he had seen, but somewhere in those sleepless nights, the horror inside of him began to turn into something else entirely, and that was purpose. The more and more he reflected, the more he came to realize that most folks across America had never stopped to consider that hanging a man wasn't like slaughtering hogs or butchering cattle. Those were the types of things that a farmer would learn by doing it 100 times over. On the other hand, it was usually a county sheriff's job to spring that trap. And more often than not, that sheriff had never hanged a man in his life and probably never would again. Lawmen came and went every few years. They were voted in and out just the same as any other elected office. Heck, A man might spend his entire career in that job and only ever preside over a single execution, if he was unlucky enough to draw one at all. And there was no manual that had been handed down, no school for it, and no old-timer standing at his elbow to show him the ropes, literally. And when the appointed day came, there stood a frightened, inexperienced lawman who was just simply expected to figure it out. And Phil, he had watched with his own eyes what happened when a good man guessed wrong. It was then that Phil decided that this was a problem for a man with a sharp enough mind to solve. So the banker who couldn't stomach the sight of his own mother plucking a chicken set himself to studying death the way he studied his farm's ledgers, with absolute precision. He got his hands on every book he could find on human anatomy and pored over diagrams of the neck and spine. He consulted with local doctors and peppered them with questions about exactly where a man's vertebrae was most likely to give way and how much force it took to do it. Little by little, Phil began to understand that hanging wasn't a simple matter of a rope and a hole in the floor. It was a science that had to be learned. And learn it he did. Behind his barn, Phil built himself a set of dummies stuffed with straw and weighted down with sandbags, each one fashioned to match the size of a grown man. For months, he hauled his dummies up to the hayloft and dropped them over and over, studying exactly what happened at the end of that rope. He learned that a heavy man needed only a short fall to do the job, while a slight, narrow-necked man needed to drop much further to gather the same force. Too short a drop for a big fella? No, and the neck might hold. Too long a drop, and a man could just easily be torn clean apart. Somewhere between those two horrors was a precise distance, different for every soul who ever stood on the gallows, and Phil set out about learning how to calculate it. He was just as particular about the rope itself. Ordinary hemp wouldn't do, since it stretched and kinked something terrible at the moment it was needed most. So the banker spent $65 in St. Louis and had a master craftsman make him the perfect rope, 3/4 of an inch thick of long strand 4-ply hemp fiber, which was softer and less abrasive than ordinary rope. Then Phil learned how to cure his own rope by boiling it down and stretching it tight while it dried. Next, he applied a fine coat of wax or soap to the knot itself, so it would slide shut in an instant rather than catch and drag. Then he calculated the exact number of times that rope needed to be wound around a man's neck. A short, thick neck might only need a few wraps, while a long, slender one called for several more, all to deliver the same quick, merciful jerk when the body reached the end of its fall. Well, anyhow, it wasn't long before Phil got word of another execution being planned, this time in the next county over. So Phil made the journey and took his place amongst the crowd gathered on the courthouse lawn. But when the moment came and the deputies led the condemned man up the scaffold, Phil's stomach began to turn. He watched the county sheriff fumble with the rope. All the noose was coiled all wrong, and it wasn't wrapped enough times around the man's neck. And the drop, well, it hadn't been measured out. Oh, Phil had seen this picture before, and he knew exactly how it would end. Now, you have to keep in mind that in that day and age, it simply wasn't done for a stranger to step out of a crowd and interrupt a legal execution. And there was every chance that Phil could have been dragged off by deputies himself for the trouble. But he couldn't just stand by and watch another man strangled to death in front of a crowd of thousands. So he did the unthinkable. The banker pushed his way through the gathered spectators and climbed those scaffold steps and told the sheriff that he was about to make a terrible mistake. Now, truth be told, the sheriff had been dreading this day for weeks, and here was somebody offering to carry out the terrible deed for him. So the sheriff stepped aside. Phil calmly refigured the drop, recoiled the noose, and set the knot perfectly just beneath the condemned man's ear. And then, He gave the signal, the trapdoor fell, and death came in an instant. In that moment, a professional hangman was born. And what happens next would change the course of American history, because this wealthy banker was about to perfect the art of killing a man.
Give someone you love the gift of old-fashioned storytelling. 5 books for the young and old alike that will make your heart smile. Click the link below to order your copy of The Appalachian Storyteller today, also available on Amazon.
Wagging tongues quickly spread what happened all across the county. Soon, sheriffs began talking to other sheriffs, and newspapers even picked up on the story. And it wasn't long before letters and telegrams started arriving at the Hanna estate from faraway places. Kentucky, Ohio, Arkansas, Missouri, and Indiana, all of them wanting to hire Phil. Now, the banker could have charged a fortune for what he knew, but he never once took a dime for his services. He didn't need the money. And besides, he never saw it as a business. In his eyes, Mr. Hanna saw it as a final act of mercy to a convicted criminal. So whenever the call came, Phil would pack up his own equipment and travel to wherever he was needed, sometimes thousands of miles away from home. He carried his own handcuffs, leg irons, and body straps, all custom made at his own expense. Oh, he had learned that the county's equipment couldn't always be trusted. He even carried 2 custom-made ropes in case one failed, and he kept them coiled carefully in a wooden box, the same as another man might carry a fine shotgun. He also brought with him a black and a white hood that had been carefully hand-stitched by his wife, and then each prisoner was offered his choice of which they preferred. Most of the time, for reasons Phil never could explain, the man would choose black. In time, Phil even built his own gallows equipment to bring along, including an iron trap door of his own design, one that dropped with precision every time the lever was pulled. But of all the things Phil carried with him from county to county and state to state, the most important thing he brought was himself. You see, he didn't just show up for the big event, do his work, and then leave. He'd arrive the day before and personally test all of the equipment. Then he'd spend the entire night sitting with the prisoner in his cell, the same way a family might sit with a dying relative. And every single time when Phil first laid eyes on the man, he'd say the same 6 words: "I am here to help you." Now that might sound like a strange thing to say to a man you've been sent to kill, but Phil, well, he meant it. He'd spend those final hours talking with the man, calming his nerves, seeing to his last request, and promising him the one thing that only Phil could deliver, that when the moment came, it would be quick, time and time again. Those poor fellas who spent their final hours cursing the law and their fate would find themselves by morning shaking Phil Hanna's hand and thanking him for the kindness he had shown them. Some looked him dead in the eye from atop the gallows and told him in front of the gathered crowd. And as Phil's name spread further across the nation, some death row prisoners took to requesting him by name, making it known that if they had to die, they wanted Phil Hanna to be the one who saw them through it. And as the years rolled slowly by, newspapers took to calling him the humanitarian hangman. And by the time it was all said and done, the wealthy banker stood atop gallows all over America 72 times, presiding over more executions than any man in American history. Now, although Phil never asked for payment, lawmen frequently gave him gifts as a thank you for his services, which Mr. Hanna proudly displayed at a cozy cottage retreat that he owned. Inside, the walls were covered with murder weapons that men had used when they committed their crimes. Everything from a machine gun owned by gangster Charlie Berger to an axe used by a Kentucky man to kill his wife. Pistols, shotguns, knives, all displayed in his living room. He also kept a box of letters that he received from all over America, from death row prisoners and their family members. Many of them were threats signed in blood that they would burn Phil's house down if he carried out the execution. But strangely, the vast majority of letters were actually from people thanking him for his humane treatment. Now, before you judge Phil for keeping all those artifacts, you have to keep in mind that folks back then who attended these events always sought to bring home some sort of souvenir.
Yeah.
Don't believe me? Well, take a look at this. A friend of mine sent me these photos of a piece of rope that was used in the last legal hanging in Union County, Tennessee, that's been passed down in their family for generations. Now, that's another crazy story all to itself, and I'll post a link up above for that one. But as for Phil Hanna, as I researched and wrote his story, I couldn't decide exactly how I felt about his life. It's so bizarre to think that one of the richest men in America would have developed a hobby traveling across the country to officiate executions. It was even said that he kept his beloved ropes hanging in his bedroom closet right next to his expensive collection of business suits. In total, he attended 72 of these events, including the last legal hanging in American history in 1936, before the adoption of the electric chair made the entire practice obsolete. Now, I'd like to leave you with this final thought. The greatest paradox about this entire story is that Phil Hanna was a man who was afraid to see a chicken cooked, and he suffered from what psychologists called agoraphobia, a morbid, irrational fear of pain. Yet he was the same man who kept a bizarre collection of murder weapons in his home. He was a man who dedicated his life to making sure that death came quick and painless to prisoners. Yet when Phil died in 1948, it was said that he struggled something terribly for days in his hospital bed. And it was so horrible that his metal bed shook so violently that one of the welds holding the frame together broke. What about you, my friend? What do you think? Was Phil Hanna a humanitarian hangman, as he was known, or was he just one twisted dude? I look forward to your comments below. Thanks so much for watching this episode. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for more true stories from Appalachia's past.
Wow.
I'm going to lean on the twisted side a little.
I see it as different to that. I see it as him making sure that if he had agoraphobia and he was afraid of pain, then
he was saving them. Yeah, because, well, when they give a description of, like I said, our family believes that he wasn't hung, but there is a, like a transcript of what happened. And, they said he hung for it took 18 minutes.
Yeah.
To die. So, 18 minutes of being strangled is just inhumane. I feel like it is. So, he did help.
It sounds like he's probably a bit OCD too. So those artifacts were probably a reminder that he'd done the right thing by someone.
Well, I'll tell you what I was thinking is where he sat in there and talked to them before the hanging, they might have told him where the weapons were. I have a staff here, and that might have been, maybe his way of
a bit of maybe to say that man was the one that deserved to die,
right?
But deserved to die instantly, not fucking 18 minutes of pain.
Right.
I might have to watch a few more of his things. That was interesting. Did you not know of that channel?
No, I wasn't aware of that one.
Oh,
I said,
maybe.
I was talking about like when the video was going. That was the odd thing about docs hanging. There was 4,000 people gathered in that little town, and Wise is, oh my gosh, it's probably not even 5 square miles of a town. So you can imagine how small the courthouse in the area was. It still is. And, 4,000 people gathered. And he preached his own funeral. He preached for an hour and a half out of the courthouse window. He had certain specifications. It was an all white robe that he wore, and he asked for a white handkerchief around his neck. Just, different odd things. But that guy come along after he was hung. So, like I said, after, reading through it and seeing, 18 minutes to die, that's horrible. I mean, so I would imagine, being hung is, there was a hanging in Whitesburg I wrote about. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the only one that they ever had. It was so, but I'm not. He had murdered a woman. She was a widow and had 6 kids, I think. And she was out gathering, stuff for dinner. And he brutally attacked her and killed her. But there's, the family thinks that it might have not been him. As after I, got to looking into it, he had some mental issues and some things going on. And so, kind of makes you wonder if they got the right person. But so.
Okay, that's all right. I just had to laugh at the thumbnail. Hang on, I have to share the page again. I know I've got a sick sense of humor, but fighting Dick just got me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my bad. He's got so much stuff on here.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I was looking through it, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch a few of them.
I have found Appalachian history is just amazing, and I mean, I've been trying to do. I think when I started out, I was trying to put a spotlight on women in our area that went above and beyond, and had all these stories and things, and I started out with that, and then I ended up just kind of. It triggered a lot of memories of different things, and so that kind of just everything kind of just took off everywhere. So, and then I thought, well, that'd be interesting to see what everybody else thinks about that story, because it, like I said, it's 133 years old, and it's something that was never completely solved. Of who did what and everything. So, it's been fun. I've met cousins I didn't know I had, all kinds of things. So it's pretty neat.
Cool. I've been learning a little bit about it as well, only because I've been working with Greg.
Yeah.
Greg Ray.
Yeah.
He's linked with the Trina Sandlin.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. I've got hundreds and hundreds of text messages I've been going through and cutting and pasting into documents so I can read them in order.
Yeah.
And the book he's written and photos and.
Yeah, I've got. I never could, because where I do everything with my phone. I never could get it to where I could organize it in any way. So it was so spotty trying to read messages because they was out of order, and so it just sounded confusing when I was reading them. So I'm glad that you was able to. Yeah, I was glad you could kind of put some order to it, because it would drop off and pick up somewhere else, so I was so confused. I didn't know. I couldn't put together the names and events, so I was having a rough time.
Yeah, you can actually upload all of them into AI now and get them to extract the text and put them in order.
Yeah.
And delete any repetitive stuff, and they can put them in order, because the screenshot often has like the date and time with it as well. So if it's not overlapping text, then they can pick it from the date and time on the actual thing. So yeah. Good old AI, huh? I've had fun with AI this last month.
I haven't really got into it a lot. Like I've had it help with some punctuation or different things like that. But Sarah, her and Tal talked to me, Grok and all this, and I'm like, what's that? Because I just really haven't got into it enough to play around with it. So
well, yeah, I did the entire new video, the intro video, completely with AI. I even created, like, every scene is 15 seconds long, and it's made by me physically typing in what I wanted in that scene.
Yeah, that's neat.
And I wrote the song too. So yeah, it's been fun. Well, my lovely. Huh?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh no, I was going to say, I think my AI can't even understand what I'm saying, so we don't have a good relationship. So
it's funny because, like, if you go with ChatGPT or something, they actually remember shit that you've discussed before, because they keep like a memory, a history of it.
Yeah.
So I talk to it like it's a human, and it just does what I want it to do. It's great. It's awesome. Yes, Jen, you have to check out actually, you know what? Okay, I'll play it again. Did you get to see it at the start?
No, I didn't.
Hold on. One moment, please. Oh. Videos. There it is.
File by file, I follow the thread. Names in the margin, words never said. Footsteps in silence, dates on the page. Power in the shadows, locked in a cage. If it's buried deep, we dig. If it's dressed up clean, we strip it. If the record bends, we read it straight. No easy answers, no closed case, no stone unturned. We want the truth, no stone unturned. Bring the proof, honesty first, facts on the line. No stone unturned, till justice shines. When the damage lands, we name the cost. Who got protected, who got lost? Civil rights, every voice, every door. No one ignored, no one invisible anymore. Say a plane, don't dress it up. Show the source, then show enough. Let the public see what's real, so every mind can judge and feel. No stone unturned. We want the truth. No stone unturned. Bring the proof. Honesty first. Facts on the line. No stone unturned. Till justice shines. Respect in the telling. Care in the frame. Human before headline. Every wound named. We don't chase smoke. We follow the trail. Clear eyes, open records. Let the facts prevail. No stone unturned. We want the truth. No stone unturned. Bring the proof. Honesty first. Facts on the line. No stone unturned. Till justice shines. Dum, 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 dum.
The defense rests where humans come before headlines.
I love it. It's so good.
I love it because I can make myself hot.
You busted a move there. I seen that in the end there, busted.
Yeah, it was a photo done like about 6 years ago, I think. Oh God, it's making you cry. No, I wasn't meant to do that. Oh, don't cry. Yeah, it was fucking fun. And it was funny because things happen for a reason, I reckon. So
yeah,
I've had all these new workers start, and one of them is actually studying IT in social media. Go fucking figure. And she said, "Have you heard of it?" I went, "No." Yeah, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. So yeah, it's once you know how to do it, it's really easy.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's fucking hard. But no, it's quite easy actually. Like
I've been discovering that. I'm still learning how to do reels, so I'm catching up a little bit. But I apologize to everybody that's on my channel. I'm like, just overlook me. I'm trying. So.
Well, look, I can't work out TikTok or fucking Instagram, but I can do AI shit. Like,
yeah.
But basically, all I did was like when I wrote the song, I then put the lyrics into ChatGPT and said, create me, 20 scenes that depict what the song is about. And it came up with all these prompts. And not all of them were appropriate for what I wanted. But if you actually use that search in ChatGPT, it held all the basic background stuff in it. So then I just had to upload my avatar and say, okay, make the woman do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
But if you actually went in and typed it without copying and pasted it from that AI created scene, it did it completely different. So there's a couple of different avatars in there that I'd done, creating it just on the software itself without going back to my search and my chat where it suggested all the back, because AI speaks to AI. I learned that. If you type it in, completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it you had to do each scene's like 15 seconds.
I think it's good. I like it.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not different. Something different. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So yeah, yeah, I really like the song. Really, like
I do.
I sing it all fucking day. This is stupid, I know.
No, it's actually. I mean, it's good. Yeah, I liked it.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, darling. Fuck. Sorry.
Bedtime.
3:03. Yep. And my eyeballs are floating. I really need a wee.
Yes.
So it was so nice to speak to you again, sweetheart. It was awesome. I know we got off track, but I don't give a fuck. Who wants to speak about Mickey anyway?
We did a little.
No? What was that, love?
I said we did talk about him a little.
Yeah. Oh, look, actually, there was things I wanted to discuss that I never even got. I wanted to actually talk to Sabrina more about why it really concerned her if he got bond, because it looks like he may actually get it. And the ironic thing is that they'd be putting him on house arrest on the fucking ankle monitoring.
Well, I think he told her one time that she would, she'd never get to spend it if she won.
Yes, his comment to her was, you might win it. You might live long enough to win it, but you'll never live long enough to spend it.
Yep. So, I mean, that's a threat. Not that is. I mean, or that's how I would feel.
Yeah. I took it as not so much a threat from him, but like just a warning almost.
Right.
That, if you go down this line, you're on your own because, they'll get you.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. But either way, he fucking knew. He fucking knew. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Either way, it's inexcusable.
Right.
But we'll never know. It won't fucking go to trial. So they'll do the same thing they did with Ben.
Yeah, that's what I think too. After watching that little hearing they had this last one, it did. I said they'll never make it to trial.
They will just argue the littlest bullshit until they've got all their evidence and they go for the higher up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it'll be because I was thinking about it the other day. If what we believe has happened and the judge is in witness protection, then what happens when he turns up and testifies against the people above, which is what they're saving him for? Well, there is no murder charge, is there?
Yeah.
So it'll be time served and see you later. Thanks.
It's untelling. I just, like I said, it's so. I feel like it's already been decided. Everything. I mean, standing back and looking at things now, I think it's that way with everything there. It's like they've already, but they're putting on this performance of,
Yeah, they're playing it out. That's all they're doing. They're just playing it out till it's ready. Because they're giving snippets away. Like, they know about the fraud and the Title IV funding and all the grant stuff. They know it because they've put out, they've fingered ARC for it. So if they fingered ARC, they know where that money, the money trail goes all the way back to the jail, all the way through. It's not related, it's not isolated there.
So it's pretty much they know they're caught. They just haven't had anything said or done yet. But I think deep down they're all
more than they're giving away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they can't give too much away whilst they're investigating. Because they've got to get enough evidence on the people above the judge, which is who they're after, I reckon.
Yeah.
For sure. Why else?
Yeah.
So
Like I said, there's so many things that just make absolutely no sense, at all. Just, I don't know. Like I said, I've put little pieces together here and there, but you kind of just sit there like, I don't know. I thought they had to be more open with information and stuff, but
yeah, but they're getting around the transparency issue by taking plea deals, so not all the evidence gets presented at court.
Right.
Hide it, and that's how they get around it. That's why Ben didn't go to trial, and that's why they settled with the civil suit, because otherwise people would have to get up and testify and give evidence.
Right.
And too much
they did not want that out.
Yeah, and that's why they're insisting on Corin being the judge, because he's part of it. They can't, if they put an outsider in there, then he would follow the law and follow the money, and they'd be exposed.
Yeah.
There's not a chance, not a fucking hope in hell that you get shot 9 times and do not leave a trace of blood or show a blood drop anywhere.
Yeah.
No. We've all seen crime scene photos. We've all seen fucking shooting,
Yeah, and they always talk about blowback and this and that, and I mean, there was.
I've even looked at I did a deep dive on the type of gun and the amount of force and pressure and the distance and blood spatter patterns and all sorts of shit. I've been down rabbit holes.
Yeah,
there's no hope in hell at that trajectory, at that distance, that there was not something on that wall. Tissue, brain, whatever, because it was all upper body.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's, you had a white walls, white quilts, white, everything was white.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And a security officer that just walks past and puts his gun back away. Like, really?
Yeah. Active shooter, and you're putting your gun up. Yeah.
Not even a strict expression. Like, you see someone there with 9 bullets in them, that you don't just behave like that.
No.
Yeah. 2,000 missing Native Americans. Fuck. Oh, with the grant money rehab fraud scheme. Ooh. Wow.
There's been a lot of different things come out here. I'd say in the past month about a lot of CPS, or there's more people talking about CPS reform, and the Title IV needs to be completely overhauled, and so it's becoming more of a problem, I guess, in the United States. People taking their kids for shits and giggles.
That's a bonus scheme.
Yep.
Who the fuck puts a bonus scheme on CPS?
On children's heads. I mean, it's heartbreaking. And I said, that's like with us, like I said earlier, when we was talking about our court, we went in there 3 minutes and it's come back, and then they can't make any, it's like they can't run 2 things at one time. We can't even talk about custody until, so we've not had any kind of custody hearing since December. 1st of December. So we've not had anything.
They charge the government for.
Yep.
But they're making their main money on
every time the guardian ad litem stands there, every time, they're all getting part of that funding. So,
but they actually changed the legislation for the rehab clinics, so that there was a particular job position that required the least amount of education and experience, and it was supposed to be included with a senior person, their reports, but they changed the actual law so that lower person could submit those reports on their own independently. And so they paying the least amount of wages for the person and the outline within that report was so broad. It was just basically if you've had a conversation with them, okay? So they could get away with them claiming they had a conversation with the people in rehab, and it's the actual people that were in rehab that started complaining and speaking about it, because they would say, well, we're just sitting in the room watching a movie, and they're in the office on their phones, and they're all claiming all these different services on them.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. No, Simmy, yes, I'm going to, my love. Thanks for joining us. Have a good one. Yeah, it's dodgy town, and they're going down.
Yeah, something definitely needs to happen. We've said that for a while, and I feel like I don't know. There's been a lot of damage done. I don't want to call it a movement, but I guess that's kind of what there's been a lot of things that have roadblocks. I'll call them roadblocks. That's probably the best way. With everything any of us have talked about, tried to help or do anything with, and so all the way around. So it's hard to even help someone. Because we just hit brick walls everywhere we turn.
Yeah, they will try and cripple you every way they can.
Yep.
I mean, just look at Tyre. They have Wi-Fi. She can't leave the property.
Yeah. We done the math on it. She'll be 114 when she gets off probation. At this rate. So, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Have you spoken to her lately?
We ain't been able to get our schedules. We message each other and send stuff back and forth, but either when she calls, I'm in bed, or when I'm up, she's in bed. So we're kind of off schedule again. So,
and then she got banned for 24 hours or something.
Yeah, I'd sent her a message about something, and her daughter got a hold of me and said, "Mom's grounded." I said, "Okay."
Yeah, she messaged me too.
Yeah, over pickle juice. I said, "Good Lord, buddy."
Yeah.
So, oh well.
Fucking ridiculous. Anyway. All right, darling. I'm going to.
Good talking to y'all.
And you too, darling. We gotta catch up more often.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for listening, watching, learning, hopefully. Spread the word. And I'm still working in the background. Trust me. I'm here. You just might not always be able to see me, but I'm around, all right?
Yeah.
All right. What is it? Fuck, I've forgotten what I say.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista, bitches. Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
File by file, I follow the thread. Names in the margin, words never said. Footsteps in silent states on the page. Power in the shadows, locked in a cage. If it's buried deep, we dig. If it's dressed up clean, we strip it. If the record bends, we read it straight. No easy answers, no closed case, no stone unturned. We want the truth,